Hello, everybody. How are we doing? Welcome to Hell, my favorite place, where we're here to conduct a review of absolute shite in the nicest way possible. Last night was absolutely horrific. My co-host hopefully will be here soon, depending on change of plans. She has messaged me. I've spoken to her. Catherine might be joining us. Anyone else that wants to join, I'll drop the link in. If you want to tear this shit apart, you're more than welcome. On screen with me is someone I do another podcast with. He hides most of the time because he's not been around for so long, the wet blanket. But everybody, I'd like you to give a warm Steelchair welcome to Josh.
Yes,
How
thank
are
you
we,
very much.
brother?
Thank you very much for having me, Reece. Me and Reece have known each other for a long time. He just doesn't like me because I don't do his quizzes because I'm a busy man these days. Had to retire from the YouTube scene.
I call bullshit on the busy stuff. You just didn't want to take the quiz at all, mate. You big bullshitter.
No comment,
Yeah, well, there's your comment and there's the resolve. But yes, hello to everybody. How are we doing? And trust me, there's a lot to go through. There's a lot of smoke to hand out and people to call out for their absolute stupid takes, which is a steel chair common. It's a common thing. That's what we do. But one thing I'm going to say as well, um, the predictions champion, Daniel. Good to see you. Salute to you, sir. And it was fucking horrible. One thing I'm going to say ahead of time is the predictions champion. What do we think? Ladies and gentlemen, do you think we have a new champion? Do we think we have an outright defense? Or do you think we've got a repeat performance as our previous prediction stream? What do we think, before I reveal the results? I can confirm I did not win because I was being too kind. Daniel
Shock,
thinks
Reece
we've
never
got
wins.
a Daniel thinks there's a new champion. To be fair, that's because I go for logic and WWE don't match me. Catherine thinks it's the same champion. What makes you think that? Okay, so it might be an interesting one. Looks like she might not be here until it might be until 9:30. Ailey might be here in a couple hours, so that's going to be difficult. She might appear in the chat. But yes, Catherine, you are correct. It's still the same champion because James is starting to cheat the laws of physics because he had another draw. He ties with Smooth and predictions rule. If you don't outright beat the champion or if there is a draw, that it will remain with him. So yes, James remains the prediction champion. So we might need to find a way to screw him over.
It sounds like a championship advantage. You can't win by pinfall or disqualification. Sounds very alike.
Yeah, more or less. Catherine, I thought that show was absolutely shit, and I sent you the link. Are you joining us or not? I just want to double check. Are you joining us tonight, Catherine? If anyone does want to join, by the way, feel free. I'll drop the link in the chat. Just don't be a nugget, and I'm gonna reiterate one thing. I'm only talking Money in the Bank. All right, I am not here to talk about anything else. So I'm gonna just put this in the chat now. If you ask me anything about Impact or AEW or New Japan, or you bring up anything else, I am deleting the comment from YouTube. Like I'm not holding it back anymore. I'm actually just gonna delete the comment straight away. So that's the rules. James, good to see you, and congratulations again. You have retained your title. Fair enough, Catherine. Fair enough. Does anyone else want to join us? Whilst I'm asking now, does anyone want to join? Josh will lose, obviously. Don't worry.
Nice. Don't get bullied.
More like just a defending champion. Like until he regains his title, he's still a one-time champion. He hasn't lost his title yet. He's a crafty fellow. He's a crafty fellow. But I think we may as well just ask the obvious question to yourself, mate. Be as honest as you can. This chat will crucify you if you even give a hint of nonsense. But what did you think about last night's stream? And not last night's stream, sorry, last night's Money in the Bank. I'm going to tell you right now, I thought it was complete horseshit.
I don't think it was the worst show, in recent weeks, but I didn't like who the men's Money in the Bank winner was. I think there was a lot of better options out there than who won it. The match that Dominic Mysterio had was just it was just there to make up the numbers. There was no purpose or real meaning behind it. I don't know if it was more to do with the collaboration between the two, but that match was nothing. It was very short. It didn't even really show off, the guy from Triple A very much. It was kind of just Dominic Mysterio, quick 619 at Frog Splash, and that was it. Obviously the ending, I'm sure we'll get on to the ending of the show in general. I thought the main event itself was kind of pointless. There was no real purpose or emphasis in the main event except for what actually happened. But we can get on to that because it's always a bit more controversial. But no, money. It's very clear that Triple H just has no interest in Money in the Bank. There doesn't seem to be. The build up to Money in the Bank was basically non-existent. You put on Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship that had no real match in it. So I think the two Money in the Bank matches were good, but the winner of the men's one I wasn't happy with at all.
Yeah, I'm just screwing James over, our defending champion, by putting in the chat as a poll should he appear on stream, and it's currently 100% yes.
Well, James, we give the come on then.
Yeah, I was hoping he would have joined us for the Money in the Bank stream because the defending champion gets that privilege. But I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. Obviously, if you are on stream, guys, you can say what you want. You can have fun. Just don't be a dick. Unless it's a dick to me, then it's okay. If anyone wants to join, the link's now in the chat. Because chaos is real. Chaos is absolutely real. I'm waiting to see if there's a vote no, because I'm waiting to see if James actually votes no. James is in those creative meetings. See, the worst thing is last night I gave the perfect pitch from one of the matches. Yes! Come on. Come on. Chaos is always fun. I know I am the personification of that. What are we thinking though in terms of so you said there you didn't think it's the worst show in recent weeks, but it wasn't great. What was the worst show for you recently?
I think SmackDown's been pretty trash. Not even for the last few weeks. For the last few months, SmackDown is clear. The SmackDown just has been by far the B star, and I think it was very telling that on SmackDown just before Money in the Bank they had to bring all the Raw superstars over.
I haven't watched Money in the Bank since that TLC match.
So the fact that they had to bring over all the SmackDown superstars over wasn't particularly. All the Raw superstars over SmackDown isn't good. SmackDown's definitely been poor. Backlash was Backlash, other than having Randy Orton and John Cena, which was a good match. The rest of the pay-per-view again, it feels like pay-per-views at the moment are very house show, if you know what I mean. Like they're putting on these big prices, big lights, but the matches are okay, but story wise they're not really developing. And
you were at a show recently,
yeah,
in your native Ireland. Do you feel like you're getting value for money?
The house show, in fairness, was very good because the house show there was probably better matches on display at the house show than there is on TV at the moment. Like CM Punk versus Gunther for the world title was one of the matches, and that should probably be on TV when Gunther was champion, maybe instead of Jey Uso. Cody Rhodes defended his title. There was Jacob Fatu and there was Jacob Fatu and Sol Sokoa against, I think, against the two Usos. You know, I mean, that was another great match, but the WWE just seems to be lacking any real clear direction at the moment. Now, as you know, obviously, R-Truth came back last night. Now, Triple H in the press conference tried to word it like it was a work, but then
He's talking bullshit. He's talking
but
bullshit.
R-Truth then came out on Twitter and says it wasn't a work. So obviously, this only happened in 72 hours. So what was the original plan for the ending of that main event with, you know, Cody Rhodes and stuff? Like, what was actually meant to happen before R-Truth then came back? And
I
then,
got a feeling.
are they completely rewriting John Cena's farewell tour now? Because obviously R-Truth had no plan in this past Saturday night's main event when they knew he was getting released. But if he's coming in and he's attacking John Cena, he's come back as Ron Killens, his original name from TNA Impact. He's not R-Truth anymore.
He's wrestling as his real name now. His real name, yeah.
So are they going to try and picture this like R-Truth's now turn into a demon to try and show John Cena what John Cena's turned into and see if that can get Cena back to babyface? They're clearly rewriting this whole John Cena farewell tour now. Obviously, they made that announcement on SmackDown about the winner of the King of the Ring will face the champion of their brand at SummerSlam. So, what happens if that person's on SmackDown? Does that mean they're not going to do Cody and John Cena at SummerSlam like a lot of people are expecting? There just doesn't seem to be any real long. The only thing that was predictable was Jacob turning solo last night. That was the only thing that was predictable. Everything else, you just don't really know where anything's going. I mean, what about Tiffany Stratton? Is she feuding with nobody at the moment? Unless
it's questionable.
Unless Naomi's going after her. Io Sky, what's Io Sky been doing on TV in recent weeks? Absolutely nothing.
Exactly. And that's the debate that we've got. Catherine says, I think the end was Travis Scott, but fans said no, or Fiend, and they couldn't get Roman a shot. I don't think he really gave a shit. And also, Sammy told Punk they couldn't let Seth win Money in the Bank, so where were they to stop him?
That's a very good point because obviously Seth got his two buddies, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, to come out. They came out and destroyed everybody because I mean they are a scary duo. I mean they've done well to put those three together. Hopefully it'll be interesting what it is long term with them. But you know, the fact that the two people that came out to stop him was like, you know, Jacob Fatu and JC Mateo come out acting like they're together when they clearly haven't been. So like it was a weird image that they walked out together. But then obviously they turned that into Jacob turning on solo. But you're right, where we're seeing Punk, where we're Sami Zayn. I mean, the rumor was out of Raw after WrestleMania when Roman Reigns last appeared that he was meant to be back for Money in the Bank. He was nowhere to be seen, unless he's back here tomorrow night when Seth tries to cash in against Jay or Gunther, which I think is going to be the likely case, unless Roman shows up then or CM Punk. But that's what I'm saying.
There will be a cash in. There will be a cash in on Raw.
WWE just seems to be like doing so many different things, but they don't really know which direction to go in. I guess like I'm convinced that the John Cena Farewell Tour is being rewritten now because Archer's back when they didn't think he would be back.
Absolutely, and two debuts. So the world champion is now on screen as well. So, hello, James.
Hi lads, you're right.
Aye, good. I forgot from Merseyside. So this is, at least it's not the red side, but we've got a conversation.
No, I'm not on the dark side now.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, your predictions champion is now on screen as well.
Right.
And hopefully in the next couple of hours we will see Eilidh as well. So we've got a very good stream potentially in terms of madness. I'm going to categorically say something as well now. This is actually very important. So we're going to come back to R-Truth at the very end, but I'm going to say it now. R-Truth's son has confirmed that Ron Killens has actually signed a new contract, but the contract stipulates that he is not active on the roster. So he's not an active talent. He just has a new contract.
That's very similar to what I said to you too. It wasn't when Archer's contract was up. I said they might bring him back, but just not in a superstar format.
Basically, and I don't think that translates well. And I think people are not understanding fully. I'm gonna say this in the nicest way possible. I don't think fully is. I don't think people's voices are overall strong enough to get them to pivot. I think it's more of another contribution. I think it's potentially backlash within instead of giving the credit to the fans. I think they're going to use this as unity within the locker room. Because if they say, oh, this is because of the fans, then that gives the fans all the empowerment. And if you empower your fan base, think about what more you could change. There we go, he's back. There we go. Don't know if you heard any of that, James. I just want to know what you think about that.
No, sorry, Reece, mate. That just gave up on me just then.
Nah, you're all right. What I was saying there basically is because his son confirmed that he signed a new contract and he's not an active talent, he's basically confirmed that I think in the circumstances, I don't think this is because of just the fans' backlash. I think the morale in the locker room has changed. And I think instead of giving it as empowerment to the fans, it's empowerment to the colleagues. That's what I think. And they're going to use online as an excuse, but they're saying in circumstance, it was a work, it was part of the show. Clear bullshit. It was not part of the show at all. There's no way that was a. There's no way.
Carlito was released at the same time too. Is Carlito going to appear again? Probably not.
Not a chance. He's gone. I'm just putting the chat as well because next year as well. I was actually on Nick's channel the other night, and true to form when it comes to quizzes, I won. So that was fun. I did a Money in the Bank trivia quiz on his show on Friday night, and yeah, first time to get 100% on their. I was the first person to get 100% on their trivia rounds. So ain't no stopping me, no. I just think it might be the case, my friend. I've got something about it. It just seems for me normal. If anyone disagrees with me, feel free. Of course, I mean I'm open to debate in the circumstance, but I think I just think it's nonsense. I think it's a whole load of nonsense. He's come out and said it's not a work. That's the only thing is Ron Killens has come out and said it's not a work. But then again, he could be lying as well. But I don't know.
I think for Triple H, I mean, I don't know. I don't. I know, Reece, you're not the biggest fan of Triple H, and you think Shawn Michaels is far better. But I really would love.
I think they're both bastards. But if I had to pick one over the other, I'm picking Shawn Michaels over Triple H. Yeah.
I would love to know really what is going on within the WWE and TKO. Like how much control and say does Triple H have, or is he just a puppet who is, being talked down from the Rock like a lot of recent reports seem to be saying. Does he have folks? But
I can confirm that. I can give you that answer now. So he is officially the head of talent and creative talent. So his role is effectively everything that's done from a creative aspect, show to show. He is in charge of that. The likes of Nick Khan, The Rock, Ariel Alwani, whatever the fuck he's called, all of them, they, like TKO's owner, etc., they can obviously dictate the finances in the situation. They will tell him, okay, there's heavy costs. We need you to cut talent based on XYZ budget. Say it's like we need you to cut the equivalent of, let's see, I don't want to sound unreasonable, but then again, WWE's talent contracts these days are fucking crazy. Say it's like we need you to cut the equivalent of $30 million a year. He has to go physically through his roster and go, you. Yeah, you're on the blower. You're gone. It's his choice. TKO will tell you like you've got to do cuts, but he tells you that your job is gone. It's his decision, and people, and this is what I really don't understand, and this is something that I know, James, you've agreed with me this on before. This is something I know James agreed with me about before in the chat. It's always people quick to blame TKO for this, but then they completely ignore Triple H when it's his decision. And I don't understand why, because I went with a counterpoint. Warner Brothers Discovery obviously put AEW on their television. See, guys, I'm not telling you to ask an AEW question. I'm just giving you a fair comparison I made. Still no other questions, just WWE tonight. I said in comparative, if Warner Brothers Discovery told Tony Khan, right, we've got a little bit of financial detriment. You're still in your company, you're still on our broadcast, but you need to cut talent. He has to make the decision. It's not Warner Bros. Discovery that sacked the talent. It's Tony Khan. So can we stop doing this whole? So can we stop blaming them for this? Like, blame TKO for making the financial decision, but blame the person who actually makes the cuts. Because it's becoming a recurring stupid joke now, and I'm sick of people not actually understanding this. That's a reality.
No, definitely. But at the end of the day, they're the money men. That's what they are.
Absolutely. And yes, that's true.
Because, as you say, I mean, Triple H, he's the one in charge of all the whole creative and looking after the talent. It's like they don't look into how things work behind the scenes, creative wise. It's only, I said, they're focused on the finances at the end of the day. That's what some people just need to understand a bit more.
Exactly. And Maria, to answer your question, I don't defend TKO. I did say they make the financial decisions. What I'm saying is, I also say you can't just cut one. You have to go on who actually makes the cuts. You can't shy away from it. Like, it's the reality. You can blame TKO for the greed and all that if you wish. That's fine. But when it comes to actually cutting talent, TKO have no say on that. Like, for example, if they said, "Oh, we want you to," if you want proof on how bad the situation is, they're trying to make Roman Reigns take a pay cut, which is a fact. They want him to take a pay cut because of his part-time schedule. They think he is not worth it.
And he's not, if he's only turning up for once every 4 months. I suppose your point obviously is right, because it was very clear after the whole Elimination Chamber situation, The Rock wanted to turn Cody Rhodes here, and Triple H turned around and said no. And then obviously it ends up being John Cena who turned heel instead. Yeah, it is a bad look for WWE, because WWE PR wise, I think are having a few disasters. Sure, like they had The Rock come, they had The Rock show up. They had The Rock show up in New Orleans, and now WrestleMania's coming to New Orleans, and then there last night, or like a couple of weeks ago, like, actually no, scratch that, you get Money in the Bank instead, and then announced last time that WrestleMania's going straight back to Las Vegas where it was last season. That's purely for money. The whole of the ring last night was completely sponsored. You know, even the turnbuckles, the mat was sponsored. You had the fireball, ladder that Mr. Grande Americana was using. You know, there's definitely been some PR issues with the WWE, and I mean, let's look at it's from a critic perspective. Let's look at all the champions right now. Io Sky, nobody. He's feuding with nobody. Tiffany Stratton feuding with nobody and getting only a couple minutes on TV. Selena Vega has been feuding with Chelsea Green and Secret Harvest the whole time she's been on TV. Dominic Mysterio's had 2 title defenses, and none of them have been storyline related, both Penta and the guy from Triple A last night. John Cena's not really feuding with anybody, though it probably will be Cody Rhodes. Jey Uso's all over the shop. He's in like 4 different feuds at once while he's about to defend his title against Gunther. What do you call it? Jacob Fatu hasn't had any feuds since he's won the US title. You know, like where is? Yeah, there just seems to be no direction for any of the big superstars in WWE at the moment. The only thing that I do think has been good is probably the tag team division SmackDown. I do think they've done well there, but all your singles champions, where are they actually going, and what's the long-term plan for them? I mean, sorry, I suppose the only one I suppose Lara Victoria and Becky Lynch was a good feud as well, which I'm assuming which will end at Evolution. But there's definitely seems to be no clear direction right now on where they're going. Triple H has always spoke about these long-term story planning, but you don't really see any long-term story plans happening right now.
He'll go Hollywood. I think he'll end up going Hollywood. I think either or, like the decisions don't work. I don't. I think you're about to realize that Naomi is about to job to Jade. I don't think it's showing UFC more preference. It's TKO are in so much debt. They are trying to get all the top contracts halved. If you're on a part-time contract, your contract is basically being offered to come down. So whatever Roman's on a year, they effectively want to half it. Because again, he's a half-time worker. He's not a full-time. He's not a full-time talent.
Roman Reigns doesn't have. I mean, what does Roman Reigns have left in WWE? He's been the longest time champion. His whole family's
Nothing.
shattered in terms of storyline. I mean, what's he going to? I mean, the only thing he has is like maybe Seth Rollins, but they've been running that back so often. Like, you know, I genuinely don't think Roman Reigns has anything else to really do in the WWE to be worth on the money he's on. I mean, he brings, you know, he's a ticket seller for when he does appear, but he has no creative long term benefits to the WWE or Triple H anymore because they've done everything they physically can with the guy.
They have nothing left. Go on, James. Go on.
No, I completely agree, 100%. There's no long-term plans for Reigns. I mean, you look at his accomplishments. What else can he achieve going forward? And also, who can he work with now?
He's lost Paul Heyman, he's lost the Usos, he's lost Solo.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, he's been the longest time champion. WWE there's literally nothing else for him.
Yeah.
I mean, remember when Cody Rhodes said a long time ago when he predicted that Roman Reigns was going to lose everyone, and he said that he'll be, you know, a chief without a tribe, and Roman Reigns even said himself he can't be the tribal chief without Paul Heyman. So what is he actually going to come back as? Because he can't turn around and be the tribal chief after this long-term storytelling that Triple H, you know, has came up with. Like, what is Roman Reigns' identity even going to be when he comes back? Because he can't be the tribal chief anymore if he doesn't have the wise man, and that's what he said.
Oh, definitely.
To be fair, that's also part of the reason why they're in such a bad creative display. In terms of the title tonight, guys, this title comes directly from my co-host as well, so we have similar opinions. We have similar opinions, of course, on last night's show. Shit show is what we're specifically calling it. She's hoping to be here by 9:30, so I will be keeping you all hostage, effectively, for a good lengthy show. But we may as well do the quick thing first, because obviously he is on screen, and I'm going to show you just how close he was to losing. Yeah, it was a fucking horrible event, Fletch. It was horrible. So in terms of just how close it was, it was smooth thinking that Lyra Valkyria is a good wrestler. That's what cost him. Whereas you, obviously, went with the heels to win the tag match.
I have to say, see to the two people who said on Grande Americano was when the Money Bank, thank God he didn't. Like, what was the point of that guy? What was the point of him being in that match? Like, him and Andrade had about 2-3 minutes between them on like actual stuff happening. Otherwise, they were just there for no reason. Like, Andrade should have had a. I mean, Penta was great. I mean, I think Penta's been fantastic since he joined the WWE. I mean, that guy's truly spectacular. But I mean, in my opinion, I understand storytelling, but they should have had AJ Styles in over a Grande Americano. I mean, a Grande Americano is just the most. I don't understand where they're actually going with him. You know, or however you want to call him.
I'll tell you where it's going.
Nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, someone just needs to rip the mask off him and get it over and done with. Like, it's absolutely pointless at this point.
Yeah. It is.
I was sick of it for a week, never mind these past several months.
Like, see when he won it and then he came out and you're just like, you've got Solo Sikoa, LA Knight, Seth Rollins, Andrade,
Chief Caterer, as we call him on this channel,
and then you have Grande America. It's like Grande Americano in terms of his gimmick does not deserve to be in a ring with these people.
No,
I didn't say Grande Americano is Chad Gable. I've been calling him Grande Americano the whole time. Listen, that's too. I ruffles a few feathers when you call Grande Americano Chad Gable. Even though I think it's quite obvious.
It's so ridiculously bad. I don't actually think they know what they're doing, which is consistent for me, obviously, but I just think in reality, I think last night was a testament that they're unsure where their creative plan is going. And I said it last night, and to be fair, there were some great comments last night about the Money in the Bank briefcase itself. And for the women specifically, you have to keep it on someday uniquely special, like a Chelsea Green, even though they didn't add it to the match, you bastards. Or you put on a main eventer. But then you put the Money in the Bank on the one person where it doesn't actually reflect the men's side. Now, we'll go through each match one by one. It's completely fine, but when you look at it from that perspective, it's evident that they're really not focusing. And great point there, to be fair, by Billy in terms of carrying cross, but I'm going to tell you, he ain't getting one.
Yeah, he'll be released.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he'll be released.
His contract is up in 2 months. Karrion Kross's contract is up in 2 months.
Karrion Kross is getting very similar treatment to what Archer was getting before his release. He's got a few backstage statements, getting a few parts here and there, having a couple of matches, but Karrion Kross isn't going to get that push. He should, but he's not. It's simple as that.
Well, that rant after WrestleMania was the final nail in the coffin for me.
Yeah, that online rant that we've played on the channel twice. I'm not playing it a third time because you know what? No, I've had to edit 2 streams recently because of people moaning about oh, you're playing our videos. I mean, I'm not. I'm playing a video direct from Twitter. Shut up, you melts. But I've edited 2 streams recently. I'm not doing it again. But that video, that rant itself, which is brilliant. Even though it's got him a lot of attention, he's selling merch. He has done nothing remotely since, and he's not been allowed to do anything, which is a genuine shame.
They done Karrion Kross really dirty because first of all they released all his people in his group. That's
true.
And then he was feuding with the Miz, but then they sent the Miz to SmackDown. And then the group he was feuding with the YSX, they were sent YSX to SmackDown, and then Charlotte had to come out of nowhere with no real purpose or background to why Charlotte was there. Then after that, he got done dirty. He's been done dirty. The second those releases happened, I mean, that feud with the YSX and the Miz was a perfect reason it was a perfect foundation on what Karrion Kross is all about. And then they just released him, and since then, he's not going to be in WWE come the end of the year. He'll strive somewhere else in another company because he'll be signed up no tomorrow by either TNA or the AEW whenever he is released.
I don't entirely know what. I don't know where he goes, to be honest. I think the way things are going right now, is it so bad that I realistically think actually, you know what? I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that point. I'll just leave it. I'll see if anyone can figure out what I'm thinking, which is highly unlikely. But I don't care about that. Let's see. I'm just trying to see if there's any news. Fair enough. Okay, nothing there.
I don't. To the saying, but they are giving him. I mean, you're saying you're giving Archer a decent send off, but he shouldn't have been released in the first place and have a whole shebang about him. He should have stayed in the WWE.
Preach that louder for the masses, my friend, because I'm saying the same thing. It's absolute nonsense. Like, if you want to see that, how if you think Triple H has done well with R-Truth, go and look at what his son posted on Instagram. Take the blindfolds off. Just take them off. The guy's a bullshitter. Is there any? I'm seeing there's anything newsworthy. I can't see anything. No.
It is coming to the point where you can't trust anything that comes out of the WWE. I mean, WrestleMania Money in the Bank have been switched over. These release, this issue of R-Truth has now came out. There's definitely going to be a lot of. It comes to the point where you start looking at things online and go, I wonder if that's actually true or not. It's WWE need to really sort their PR shit out big time, because it's not good at all. I mean, if it wasn't for these inside reporters, we would have never have known that Carlito was released, because Carlito hasn't said anything publicly about it. So,
Oh, that's what they've already done, Billy. They've signed him back. They've signed him back as his real name. Like, he'll go under his real name now, but it makes no sense. If you're honestly interested in what he does next, I'm sorry, but you're wasting your time.
It's only John Cena. That's it.
He's going to be feuding with Cena for the rest of this fucking tour, and that's actually pathetic. I'm sorry, it's not a decent send off.
As I said at the start of the show, he came back as Ron Killens, like a more serious. He's going to try and make John Cena look in the mirror, and Archer's going to not be this joker, the fun guy that he says that John Cena used to be. So he's going to come back and try and be a cunt that John Cena's being now, and try to make him turn. That's exactly what they're trying to do. That's exactly what yesterday was about.
He's not taking the title either, so
yeah, he's always
forget about it.
So, is anyone going to take it seriously? Be honest. I can comfortably say with my hand.
Like, that's literally what they're trying to do. Yeah. They're trying to make R-Truth turn a heel as such, to make John Cena look in the mirror to what John Cena is now. Basically, that's how they're trying to turn him back to babyface. If it works or not, I don't know. I mean, I controversially think Cena will stay heel his whole time, and then at the end of his final appearance at the end of the year, that's when he'll come back out and be babyface as such. But I think he's going to be heel for the rest of the. I just don't see after everything he's been saying to the fans, how do you turn him back to a babyface, quickly and smoothly? I don't know if it's possible.
Thankfully, I am not thinking about those two, but thanks for ruining my mindset now, Glenn. Because the fact that she's been advertised for Raw is an embarrassment. I'm going to tell you now, it's going to be Tweedledee and Tweedledum versus Morgan and the B-Tech Chuck Palumbo at Evolution for the tag titles.
It probably will be, yeah.
She'll get a title shot. Like, Nikki Bella will probably get a title shot against Io Sky at Night of Champions, gets pinned and goes, I've actually got a sister. We should bring her in, and then we go for the tag titles. And then after that, they'll lose, and then she'll fuck off again. There are some dummies out there saying Truth surprise return to Hogan being the third man joining the Outsiders. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Logan Paul turns on Cena. That's how you get John back in the face. Well,
should not be the other way around. No, Cena turned on Logan. No,
because doesn't make him a babyface.
But if John Cena turned around, and I mean, I don't know what you two think, but I despise Logan Paul. Like, I just hate everything about him. I despise everything. I mean, don't get me wrong. Inside the ring, he is very talented, but I mean, he gets all these opportunities and he does nothing forward. If you know what I mean, like getting these championship shots against Jey Uso, teaming with John Cena. Like, what's he actually done? His US title one was awful. It was worse than Roman Reigns' part-time schedule as the World Heavyweight Champion. Like, I hate everything about Logan Paul. I just don't think he has any place in WWE, and I think the spots that he takes up, he should be given to other talent who actually deserve it.
In unpopular opinion, I'd rather Logan Paul as world champion than forward man. You mean forwards on the side, man? In terms of promos, I'm intrigued if he changed to a more serious character. Well, I'm going to say something to you, and I hope this doesn't hurt, but I hope this gives you a reality check. He was serious in 2010 and 2011, and what did they do to him? They dressed him up like a fucking George Washington ripoff. and killed his chance of being WWE champion.
You know what? Actually, in the most typical WWE fashion, and I think you two will agree with me on this. In terms of obviously you've just said about R-Truth's more serious character, I bet you, in typical WWE fashion, at least in recent time, R-Truth just did what he did in Money in the Bank, and we're not going to hear about any of it for 4 weeks. And R-Truth just isn't going to appear. He's not going to be mentioned. We're not going to have a clue why he did it. And then 4 weeks later, we're going to go, oh yeah, do you remember when R-Truth did that? It's the same with The Rock. It's the same with The Rock and what did Cody Saul. I mean, The Rock, he had a PR disaster when he had that interview on the Pat McAfee show. There was no follow up on that. They don't seem to follow up on these really big things. I mean, I would love them to, but someone tells me R-Truth isn't going to appear for 2 weeks. We're actually not going to know why he did it or what the plan is. No, when's Sean Cena's next appearance? Do we know off the top of our heads?
Well, he is going to be at Night of Champions, so he is going to be build up to Night of Champions anyway. So
yeah.
I will actually get that for you. Hold on,
because obviously that will play in a part. Because that's one thing I felt bad for Cody Rhodes and lead up to WrestleMania was how Cody was trying to build up a match with John Cena with no John Cena. Didn't make life particularly. Is he on Raw? If he's on Raw tomorrow, then that'll be interesting. But I mean, R-Truth's a SmackDown superstar, so I don't know if he'll be on there or not. The whole John Cena farewell tour. I mean, I'm not saying it's all over the place, but I don't think it's as good as it should be. I don't think he shouldn't have turned heel.
Well, me and Reece have said it for a while. The heel turn's failed.
It has, yeah, and that's not because of The Rock. Like, this was forced. The heel turn by Cena was done by The Rock and pushed by The Rock, and the foundation of the start of it was with The Rock. But since The Rock left, there was no storytelling there with it, and it's just been an absolute fail. And no. John Cena certainly looks like he doesn't want to play the role either.
He was actually close to winning it in 2011, but they changed their minds. They changed their mind. Tomorrow, yeah, there's other ones as well. He is advertised for tomorrow. The rest of his dates, so
I know one of them's Dublin, which is the show I'm going to in SmackDown.
He's advertised for SmackDown next week, and he's advertised for SmackDown on the 20th. Then he's advertised for SmackDown on August 8th. So we'll see. But he's got.
There's August 21st as well, because that's the SmackDown I'm going to in Dublin.
Yeah, so he's on Raw tomorrow, then he's on the next 3 SmackDowns, then he's at Night of Champions, and then whatever the fuck they do around then as well. I'm just for anyone asks as well. I'm not covering Night of Champions, so don't bother asking me to. I'm not doing it.
Don't blame you.
Yeah, I'm not doing glorified crap on the channel anymore. So it's not happening. I'm not covering Night of Champions. I'll probably just say on the Monday, not the Monday, the Tuesday, when we do the Raw review. I'll be like, oh yeah, so this person won King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring, but that's it. That's as close you're going to get. Sue me if you don't like it. Sue me. I'll give you the address. It's at www.idon'tcare.co.uk. I'm only kidding, guys. I'm only kidding. But I'm definitely not covering Night of Champions. I'm just not doing it. But yeah, so I was trying to find some new stuff. I couldn't find anything of remote interest. There was nothing really significant there either, to say the least. I don't watch the media scrums. Did any of you guys watch it? Because I did hear something, and I want to know your opinion on it. Did either of you watch the media scrum?
Not really, no.
Okay. If anyone watched the media scrum, answer this question with a yes or no. Did they cut from Becky Lynch to Naomi? I heard that she was in mid-conversation, and they cut from her directly to Naomi.
Well, I think it's a yes. I think I've seen that on Twitter, yeah, from WWE accounts.
Again, either she must have been really boring them to death, or they're like, no, she's here now. Let's go and talk to Naomi.
It's probably a bit of both.
Yeah. That wasn't an attack on her that time, but I was actually genuine question, like why they cut directly to her.
I think everybody knew the outcome of that Becky Lynch Lara match, because I mean, all the build up, it was just Lara's never lost to Becky, Lara's never lost. You know what I mean? That was it, and so it was so obvious that Becky Lynch was going to win.
Fair enough, and she was on about Naomi. Fair enough. That stipulation was like a giveaway that you knew who was going to win. I mean, the reality that we've got. If I win, then you can't challenge me again. But if I win, then you've got to raise my hand.
Yeah, that's what I said. It was so obvious.
I mean,
and then and then the other match from last time with Dominic and the guy from AAA. I mean, that was just a pointless match. That was just a filter match. It was just to make up the numbers. That was literally all it was for.
See, the funny thing is though, that wasn't a WWE versus AAA Intercontinental title match. That was WWE versus TNA. Octagon Junior is a TNA wrestler. He's signed to TNA. Predominantly, he is obviously still competing in AAA, but he is a TNA signed talent.
Can I ask you a question, non-money banking related? It's WWE related, but it links to another company too, because I just want your opinion on it. What is your opinion on Trick Williams being the TNA champion? How do you think this partnership's working out? Because obviously, he beat a fan favorite of everybody in Joe Hendry on a WWE program.
I think I know what your answer is, Reece.
There we go, problem solved. My plan worked.
Now, if you want my opinion, I hate the partnership. I never agree with it in the first place.
I originally thought it was very WWE heavy. WWE were going to get the benefits, but then Trick Williams won, and then I'm thinking, is it working both ways? But obviously, Joe Hendry got his WrestleMania moment, which was quite special. It would never happen under Vince McMahon. I mean, I think that's one thing, that's for sure. Vince McMahon must hate all of us watching all these sponsorships and TNA and whatever else.
Probably is. You'll probably be like, what the hell is this crap on my television?
Is .co.uk. Consistently, I don't like it. It's the wrong way to go. I genuinely hate it. I've not despised it, and I said at the very start, if you're going to have a partnership, and I'm never going to change my opinion on this, and people better seriously stop thinking I'm going to take it seriously in any shape or form. I've said from the very beginning, if you're going to have a partnership, just have the talent go against each other and just let them improve their working styles against each other. Let talent try and get over, put them over, but don't bury them. But then I 100% at the very beginning of this crap, I'm not sure this is going to work out. And I literally said, I know you've not been watching a lot, mate, because you've been working. I know you're busy, so this is obviously new for you and it's understandable. But I've said consistently since the very start, no TNA talent should win an NXT championship of any sorts. And it should be the complete same on the opposite. No NXT talent should win a TNA title. And I'm never going to pivot on that. I'm never going to change. And I hate the fact that at the easiest opportunity they can get, they took it. And it's not the first time that they tried. Like, they done it at No Mercy last year, NXT No Mercy. They tried to have Zachary Vance lose the X Division title to Wesley. And they were like, no, we're not having that at all.
You know what I don't like? I know you said don't speak on the company, so I'm just going to say this quickly. With the way this is working, it's making the TNA talent look very weak. That's the only thing I'm going to say. I know
it is.
Show, but I mean, like, sure, Joe Hendry had that moment at WrestleMania. He's the TNA champion, and he gets beat by Randy Orton in 6-7 minutes. It's not a good look. Trick Williams beats Joe Hendry for the TNA title. It's not a great look. Do you know what I mean?
No, it's not. It's shocking. But the worst thing is people are going to come back and say, and this is what I don't like, is when people come back and say, "Oh, it helps
You've muted yourself, I think. Reece, you've muted yourself. We can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Reece.
I think you've hit something on your keyboard by accident.
No, it was my headset. I think it's dying, so I'm just gonna quickly put it on charge whilst I'm still talking. But I don't like the fact that that's the recurring theme. Oh, it helps TNA because they get exposure. Well, here's the funny thing. TNA were doing well without. Obviously, there were recent years where they weren't doing great, and I won't deny that the crowds weren't particularly great. But they have picked up in recent years, long before WWE got involved, and then it then picks up in the circumstance. Now WWE are more involved, and everyone's basically saying, "Oh, this is all because of WWE. That TNA are getting better crowds again." And I'm like, "Well, it's not," and I think that takes away from TNA's hard work. Is they'd invested money on the production, they'd invested money on the set, where they go, and I'm like, why would you take away their hard work and their credit? Why would you dismiss it? And obviously, I do reviews for all these shows except SmackDown. I don't review SmackDown I'm not going to review SmackDown for quite some time. I got really fucking bored of it. But I just hate the bollocks behind it, and I don't tolerate bullshit takes like that at all. And you can ask James, he's in here every single fucking week, every single fucking episode, how angry I got when I had to obviously discuss that fraud winning the TNA World title. I was extremely angry. And I'm still angry.
Absolutely right. I've said this a while ago. Henry should have lost the title several months ago. I can't remember what paper was it.
He should have lost it at Rebellion to Kazarian.
Yeah, he should have lost it then. But no,
because he was injured.
Exactly. And then all them talks are saying, "Oh, WWE could buy out his contract and all that." And I'm like, now's the time to drop the title.
Exactly. But instead they went, "Nah, we'll keep it on him." He had a torn rotator cuff. And the good thing is there, and I've got no disrespect to Ethan Page. I actually quite like Ethan Page. I was like, well, if he's in the match, Kazarian could pin Ethan Page. Like, realistically, let Ethan Page, I don't often say win with a roll up, but I'm like, say like Ethan Page had just hit his finisher on Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry's then he's obviously at that point null and void. Ethan Page goes for the win. Kazarian slips in, hits a roll up, 1, 2, 3, new champion. Joe Hendry can then go and lose to Trick Williams at Battleground or whatever, and I don't care. At that point, I physically don't care. But I hate the fact that they're not putting Trick Williams on TNA shows, all that, and he's got excuses. I don't like. They're not giving me X, Y, Z perks. And I'm like, well, that doesn't matter. I don't care if he. Someone respond to that comment, because I don't want to say I'll say something I'll regret, but this is echoing my point of the stupidity behind the whole thing. Someone just reply to Guy, please. He's a good guy, to be fair, but someone just respond to that.
I don't think the actual high Trick Williams one is the fact Trick Williams did win his race, especially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I've already said in here before, because people said, "Oh, what about Kenny Omega win the AEW title? Win the TNA World title?" I said the exact same thing. I still don't agree with it. Like, I said it on the exact same thing, because I had someone ask me as well on the same show. They were like, "What about Kenny Omega win the TNA World title? What do you think of that?" I was like, I still didn't like it. I like Kenny Omega, but I didn't want him to win the TNA World title. I was happy that Rich Swann went up against Kenny Omega, champion versus champion. I would have preferred that. Just who's the better champion? 30-35 minute match. I'm alright with that. But instead, we had a title change. I was like, I still didn't agree with it.
If it was just non-title and Kenny won that match, then fair enough. But not for the TNA title.
Stampede, yes, it was, but I'm talking physically about TNA weekly TV, not like a special event or a pay-per-view. They're aiming to do that. It may end up appearing at some point on regular TV with the title, but the reality is for now they're not having them on it. Either way, this is not what a partnership's about. That's not what a partnership is. So if anyone tries to come at me like that, like do whatever you want, but I'm not changing my opinion on it. I still think it's horseshit. I still think it's stupid, and it sums up the mentality of ruining another company at your own expense. Plain and simple. Right. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on and let's actually discuss some of these matches. So, how do you want to do this, boys?
You're the host. We'll follow your lead.
No, I'm giving it to you guys. Stampede. I know. I'm just saying it's still being labeled. It's being labeled as one. I'm just saying.
I think to probably just go in order of the matches if you want to start talking about them. Probably each of the
Probably
professional
the
memory of
order,
it.
yeah.
Fair enough. So that's the women's Money in the Bank ladder match was up first. So Naomi, Roxanne Perez, Alexa Bliss, Stephanie Vaquer, Rhea Ripley, Julia all competing. Actually, another thing I'm going to do as well. Hold on. I'm actually going to get each one because I always bring up because it's interesting. I'm actually going to bring up the runtime for each match as well. See if I can just get it. Hold on 2 seconds. But in the meantime, either of you want to give me your reaction to this match as well. Go with you.
My mate or James?
Either or, it's up entirely. I don't mind either one is. If you want to go ahead, on you go.
I'll
let you go first, Josh.
I think I thought the women's match was really good. I don't think I think the women division right now is very, very good in all aspects. Even though the two champions, like the two main champions, aren't really developing too much at the moment. But I did like the way personally the way this match was. You had your three veterans and Rhea, Bliss, and Naomi, and then you had your three new upcomers who've just been caught up in Perez, Julia, Stephanie Vaquer. The one thing I would say is that it was very clear Jillian wasn't going to win this match because she clearly has her set sight on Selena Vega, so it was kind of obvious that Julia wasn't going to win this. I also fair play to Stephanie Vaquer. Obviously, she wrestled 3 times in 18 hours or something like that. So I think she's had a very tiring weekend. But I thought the match was very, very good. Clearly, as the match kind of developed, they had the veterans kind of team up against the new ones. I thought Perez, Jillian, Stephanie Vaquer had a fantastic, debut for such a big match. Obviously, they wouldn't have really had anything like that in NXT, especially on that kind of intensity. So I thought they did very, very well. I think the winner was absolutely right. I mean, Rhea Ripley was simply there as a ticket seller. The fact that Rhea Ripley was going to be there, she was, never going to win this. I don't think Alexa Bliss is going to be a world champion anytime soon. Again, the other three women are going to have years ahead of them in the WWE. So I think Naomi was the right one. I think Naomi's heel turn has been very, very good. It's been done well. The purpose and the character has been right, and I think her holding that briefcase is dangerous and for the women's championship. And I think she will successfully cash it in on whoever it is. So
2 seconds. I'm just reiterating 1 point. 1 second. Carry on. James, your reaction to the Money in the Bank women's match?
I'm similar to Josh in a way. It wasn't bad, the match. I agree with the fact you had the veteran stars such as Rhea Ripley and all them against the likes of Roxanne. Like the newcomers, like saying, "Yeah, we're here to compete at the highest level, here to prove a point." But I noticed one thing in particular. Where I can't remember who it was. I think it was Vaquer and maybe Perez. I'm not sure. And they were 2 of them up against Rhea Ripley, and they sandwiched her in the ladder. And it was such I could tell it was a definite botch because I don't know whether you saw it, Reece, but the ladders tried to shut it, and the ladders just didn't budge.
Yeah, I was watching it. They tried to do the middle rope ladder sandwich, and that was a botch. There was a lot of weird botches last night in Money in the Bank. One was remotely funny. One was I was laughing my ass off at that. I was laughing my ass off at that. That felt nice. Like that felt nice to see. To be fair, I didn't call it botchamania. I called it slipomania running wild. Anything he does wrong, I celebrate. But Yeah, so I don't know. I don't really count. But yeah, no, it's only WWE questions tonight. So nothing else. But if you want to quickly answer that question, lads, go ahead. But it's the only
I
it's
don't watch
only
it, so that's it. No more comments from me on that.
I keep it tabs on the highlights of AEW. That's about it.
there you go.
Is that Pepsi Max you're drinking?
Yeah.
So, the things have not changed.
Why would that change?
Coke Zero is better.
I'm not having slander on this channel.
Oh dear. I used to do that all the time when I had the power too.
Yeah. Except I have much worse.
But no,
Yes, yes, sir. That's for the power.
But yes, no, with the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, I think it was good. I don't think it was as good as last year's. I think last year's was a lot more brutal and there was a lot more spots, as so called, as I say. But I do like. I understand the way they develop it with the free newcomers and with the free veterans, and I think it definitely worked very well in that sense. So yeah, I have no issues with the winner. The two winners I wanted from was either Naomi or Roxanne, and I understand. I mean, Alexa Bliss is probably going to go into the Wyatt Six storyline at some point. Julia is going to Selena Vega. Roxanne Perez is currently with the Judgment Day. Stephanie Vaccari just got called up, so I mean, probably too soon for her to be a big champion. So I think Naomi was the absolute right decision. I think James should probably agree with me on that as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
I think that's fair. If I'm looking at the whole show, I'm saying it personally. I hated the entire show. I think last night was, and I'll explain why later on. But one thing I will say is, in terms of the matches, I think overall the women realistically outshone the men. But it says a lot that I'm saying this because I don't think they're putting enough investment into the whole landscape. That's my biggest pet peeve right now. But additionally, I don't like that there's not enough creative balance behind the scenes. I think there's a lot of poor shuffling, not being consistent to like as people obsess over storyline. I think there's been a lack of character development. I think for all the cuts they're making, they're getting rid of talent that are actually, in a way, essential to how you construct a show. And I think they've actually got rid of talent that could actually give you even just a little bit of a lifeline in a way. And I think that's actually makes it less enjoyable for me, if I'm being honest. And I'm not just saying that in the sense of, oh yeah, because I like to see talent actually work in the ring. I'm talking about like you have to take all facets into account. And Money in the Bank for me as a reflection did not give me enough satisfaction as an event. And that says a lot. There's nothing to do with who's advertised on the card or whatever. Like, quite frankly, I think you have to try and go as strong as you can. But I feel like they made no worries as well, Billy. That's all right. I think last night they made some cheap decisions for the expense of just getting the money and getting out of there. And again, that's becoming a regular theme, and I'm really bloody hating it. I've said it so many times. Greed can get you so far until it bites you in the ass.
See the comment you're making. Do you not notice that every single show, be it a pay-per-view, Monday Night or SmackDown, that the stage is exactly the same? They don't even try and do creative stages anymore. It's all the same thing. It's just a big square. It's just like a big rectangle thing. That's it.
Like
honestly,
honestly,
the only difference is the colours. That's about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the stages are exactly the same.
I
Everything
agree.
of interest in me. Everything else is exactly the same.
I think if you really want to deep it in the most respectful way possible, and it depends on how far that goes. I think they're so obsessed with, and I said it the other day about on another review show about you keep bringing up record sellouts and making record numbers every single bloody week, eventually it's going to come back to haunt you when you become so obsessed with records that the most important thing slips. And the most important thing that slips is creative. And WWE's creative has been slipping long since before the Royal Rumble. Long before then. It's been going on for a very long time. The only difference is when I say it, it comes across as hate, it comes across as negative, and it always comes across as other shit. When it's not even the case. I say what I see, and I see what I say. And that might sound horrible, but it's absolutely true. I already said, guy, it's nonsense. Don't listen to what that Muppet says. If he told me that the sky was blue, I would honestly have to go and double check. I would honestly have to, because he couldn't tell you the truth if it hit him sideways. And considering the amount of veins he's got, he probably is used to sideways. But I can't take it. I can't take it all at face value. But in circumstance, when I look at this match, in terms of what was the best match on the card, can you realistically say any of them are warranted? Maybe not. But in terms of the least match that didn't do me enough mental trauma, it's probably the women's match. It's a reality shaking. Now, people say Naomi's the right winner or whatever. Depending on your story, then perhaps, but I disagree. I think reality favors the wicked, and for me, if you're looking at the whole match alone, the best winner. I'm not going to say, even though I'm not going to say Stephanie Vacour, but I know I think she was excellent showing. I think if you're looking at a genuine story perspective, the more appropriate winner is Roxanne Perez. Naomi's won this Money in the Bank just to job to Jade. I'm telling you now in advance, she has won this match to job to Jade.
Well, at one stage, I thought she was going to appear last night, Jade, but no, I do agree with you on that.
I think the women showed well. I think it's unfortunate that there was a lot of issues with the ladders that were causing them issues like that. I don't blame Julia or Roxanne Perez or Rhea Ripley for what happened with the ladder. Like, I think that's purely that whatever the hell happened there, that was a construction issue. That's nothing to do with them. They actually did physically try. You could see it, but
it just didn't pan out for them. That was the thing.
Yeah, anything like that, I absolutely will not put blame on them. I haven't seen anyone realistically blame the women for this, and if they are blaming the women, I think that's a shame. But when I take it at face value, it's just embarrassing, really, and that's the reality we're in, I suppose.
See, moving on to that second match. The second match was absolutely pointless. I mean, the runtime says it all. There was absolutely no need for this match again. It was just a waste of a spot that could have easily been filled by
a world title match.
Yeah, what was the point of Dominic Mysterio against Octon Jr.? Like, there was just again no point of it. I feel bad for Dominic Mysterio because he won the Intercontinental Championship probably at the right time in terms of where he is in the feud with the Judgment Day, whatever. But his television's been trash, and I mean, this match was just. I mean, it was like literally watching like a house show match. It was slow paced. He hit his 619, his fast, jumped on. I mean, no point off it. There was just absolutely no point of it. Again, that match should have easily been something else far more significant than that. But you know, WWE seems to have that now. WWE seems to have one of these matches every pay-per-view where it's just a quick match, absolutely pointless, and you're just looking at it like, why? Why did I watch that?
It's just a filler. It's just to fill up for what was it? Just under 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just a filler.
And it was even worse that it was such a filler where it's a dual company talent as well that's being mugged.
Yeah.
Like Octagon Jr. got mugged last night. He was not given a showing. You can say all he got to do is springboard moves, but that isn't. You can do all of that in a match, but it still doesn't do anything for Octagon Jr. because Octagon Jr. can actually wrestle. It was not just a boot in the neck to triple leg Matt, but good to see you, bud. You're welcome to join us as well if you wish. Anyone's welcome to join. The links are still in the chat. Eilidh might be joining us in the next 40, 50 minutes.
You know what's really annoying though, right? So obviously they had Worlds Collide just before Money in the Bank, right?
I don't see how. The only thing about that show that for me that was good was Mr. Iguana and Psycho Clown.
But my point is that the WWE, like the actual WWE superstars, were put on a really good. Were allowed to put on a really good show, and like they competed well in the matches. But Austin Jr. on the flip side comes to a WWE show and gets a 5-minute squash match against Dominic Mysterio. I just don't see how that's fair.
It was an intent to prove we've signed these guys, and you're not going to get the true enjoyment out of them. You're not going to get the true enjoyment out of them, and that's a reality that sucks. But it's a reality that's spitting right in the face.
And that, when I heard that, when they bought Triple R, I knew instantly that it was going to backfire.
Yeah, it still is, and
yeah,
Stephanie Vaquer will be another example of that very soon with her decision not to wrestle with Triple R, and she said she'll never do it. And what does she do? She wrestles on a Triple R show.
The same day that she was in the Money in the Bank match as well.
She's wrestled 4 matches in a week. She did. It was like 3 matches in 3 days as well, but she's done 4 this week. She's a credible worker in terms of the amount that she does, but even she was like left out in the dark. There's another thing as well, like that was so bad last night about the Money in the Bank matches, that there's something about the Money in the Bank matches that both of them did this wrongly, and they don't often do this. I want to see if anyone agrees with me or not. They probably won't, because again, I'm the voice of single thought. Did you notice that for a 25-minute match, and the men's match went over 33.5 minutes, did you notice constantly how long people were actually on the mat when they were not active?
Yeah,
they were constantly keeping people on the mat when I'm sitting down or laying. When I'm like, you could actually be using these talents. Like Stephanie Vaquer sat for 2.5 minutes whilst Naomi climbed the ladder to win the match.
Yeah, that's what I said at the start of the show with the men's match. A Grande Americano and Andrade had absolutely zero involvement. I mean, LA Knight, Penta, Seth, and Solo all played a major part. I mean, I don't know what you guys think about Solo as a wrestler, but I see him as his character. He's funny as. I mean, I was laughing about when he was mocking Penta and. What do you call LA Knights gimmicks anyway? But a Grande Americano and Andrade, they maybe had 5 minutes, like actual involvement out of the 33 minutes. I mean, most of the time they were,
and it was overbooked to fuck as well.
And they were like non-existent. Like I think you're absolutely right, Reece. I don't think the actual individual superstars got a fair share of stage time in both Money in the Bank matches. I mean, Grande Americano and Andrade was just. I mean, sure when Andrade won his qualifier on SmackDown, but he was like, "Wait, what?" Andrade actually won instead of the other two that were in the match. So
it's a shame because it's a little bit of a tad shame. And James will agree because I was constantly saying this. Chief Caterer is going to do absolutely nothing in this match, is what I said on the preview show last night. That's what I literally said. Chief Caterer is what I call Andrade, and lo and behold, I predicted his own damn fate. He did nothing, but the worst thing is, he did nothing even when he was on a ladder. He was standing there being the punch bag. And I'm like, surely. And another thing as well, this is something I'm going to call him out on as well, the fucking idiot. He nearly done a Psycho Sid to himself last night. He nearly split his leg in half with that sunset flip powerbomb. Did you notice?
Yeah, I noticed that.
Absolute stupid. Why are you bending your leg like that for a sunset flip powerbomb? Why are you doing that? He could have split his leg in half. Like, absolute joke. If anyone feels a little bit in advance, I'm just saying this. If anyone feels a little bit squeamish, I'm going to try and find it again, and I'll show you. But if anyone doesn't like this, obviously don't look. But I'm going to try and see if I can find it.
You know what as well. See in the build up to this Money in the Bank title match, Seth Rollins attacked everybody, right? But sure, a Grande Americano won this match and he had no build up to this thing whatsoever. He had a Triple Threat match, he hasn't appeared on TV, and then he was in the match. Like, you know what I mean? Like I just don't understand what was the point of it. Unless there's some weird push with a Grande Americano that we don't know about. I just don't understand why he was in that match.
Same. I didn't get it either, but I don't know.
Just try to find the exact. If I can find it, I just hated how it came across. It looks so bad because it's the way that his leg is split. You know what I mean? Like it's the angle, and when I seen it, I was like, nah, like why? But we'll come to the men's one very soon, obviously. But back to in terms of the women though, like the women to an extent did try to show out as best they can, and I will never knock anyone for at least trying. But when you're being told when you are literally either on the ground for 4 or 5 minutes, or if you're sitting down for 2 or 3 minutes, when you could still contribute to the match, it's a bloody pointless. It's a pointless interception at all, like, in terms of the concept. It doesn't actually make it exciting. It makes it unwatchable for me, and that for me is why I critique this shit. Like it's when you look at it as well, like you got everything bar the US title. So you didn't win last night. You drew with James, so James retains his title smooth. But you were the closest challenger. Everyone else didn't come close. Put it that way. I look at it and like the women tried to show up as best they can, but they got nothing. I still don't think it was overall great. I think when you look at it in the nicest way, they could have done a lot better. In terms of Dominic Mysterio versus Octagon Jr., I agree. This was pointless. I was sitting there going, we know that he's going to win easy. We know that Dominic Mysterio is going to win so easy, but the fact that it was 5 minutes, that says it all, that they don't give a fuck about these other companies. They don't care. And that is a painful lesson for many who are still refusing to accept it. I don't mind to sound horrible, but because obviously when you look at the call him big coffee cup cock wumble is El Grande Americano, but literally they treated Octagon Jr. like a coffee break. That's what that was. That was kettle on, get the coffee, sit back down, and then there you go. The match is over. I mean, am I wrong?
Nope.
No, he's spot on.
It should have been, you know. I mean, obviously both champions were in the main event, but like you could have easily have had, you know, Selena Vega and Julia. You know, if Julia wasn't if you didn't put her in the women's match, you could have had Dominic Mysterio against somebody he's actually feuding with, if you know what I mean. Like he's feuding with nobody right now except for maybe Finn Balor unofficially.
What they've basically done is Dominic Mysterio and Chad Gable now have the exact same feud. They're just feuding with all the luchadors. That's them. Chad Gable and Dominic Mysterio are now just the luchadors.
The Grande Americano. We should get some people triggered, right? The Grande Americano is not Chad Gable. Some people are going to start hating you in the comments.
That pissed me off.
Wouldn't be the first time.
It's all you hear. It's all you hear on commentary with like weird Brown Pack McAfee is every time Michael Cole says Chad Gable's the Grande Americano, they come back and go, no, it's not.
I hate Michael Cole and Pat McAfee with a passion.
You hate him as a duo, or you hate Michael Cole himself?
I hate them both. I hate them both individually and as a duo. Yeah, I hate them both.
Have you hated Michael Cole for the 28 years he's been commentating, or?
Well, I've been alive for 28 years, but in general circumstances, ever since I started watching the damn thing, the only time Michael Cole to me was actually relatively okay was 2003 because Taz carried him. But apart from that, no, I don't like him at all. Don't think he's that good as a commentator. I don't think he's good enough for a match. I don't think he actually does
Joe
the talent
Joe
interest.
Story is a lot better than him, at least at the moment, in my opinion. You could disagree, but I think Wade Barrett's the best in them so far.
I think he's okay. Wade Barrett is just he's becoming cringe as well. Like I can't take it. The minute he started copying Booker T, that was it. Like that was it for me. I was like, I can't take this clown serious as well. Even though I actually think when it comes to just speaking of matches, why? I think he has some sort of complex, Wade Barrett. Why is he obsessed with LA Knight's groin?
Sure. Did he? Was it Wade Barrett or Michael Colley started talking about nipples yesterday with a Grande Americano? I can't remember who it was. Somebody mentioned it.
That was Wade Barrett, and
that was Barrett. Yeah,
that was cringe. That was cringe. Like, and yeah, Smooth, he isn't funny at all. He's the opposite of funny. Like, he is. He's unfunny. Cole was outlasting everybody. Yeah, he's got something on them to stay in a job. Like, I can't honestly take them seriously. Pat McAfee makes me cringe every single bloody episode he's on. Like, I get a daily dose of abuse on Pat McAfee every single show, and it's so much fun.
You must have absolutely enjoyed watching Gunther kick his ass at Backlash then.
Not really, actually. They mentioned the Gulf of America, which is also wrong. Like that's another thing. This is how they get things. Like they make things so ridiculously stupid for this Americano gimmick or whatever they want to fucking use them as. We know it's Chad Gable. It's just really stupid. I would have preferred if Chad Gable wants to be a mixture of a serious in-ring wrestler but do comedy shit still, then have him do it without a mask. I can't take him seriously as El Grande Americano. I can't take it seriously.
Gracias!
I just physically can't take it seriously at all. I know it's meant to be a comedic gimmick, and I understand that you need to have a level of comedy in your shows. I don't have a problem with that. But
see when you watch a Grande Americano come out with his theme song and the screen changes, and you're just like he's walking around doing a wee dance and going gracias, and you're just like, what is the point?
Well, to be fair,
it will always be in the history books that a Grande Americano beat AJ Styles and CM Punk in a triple threat match. That is going to be that's a fact that's happened. You know, like that's the world that we live in right now. That actually happened. That two of the best wrestlers that the world have ever seen lost here at Grande Americano in one match. That's how. That's just it's tragic. Tragic.
It's just pathetic, isn't it?
It's so pathetic. It's so pathetic. And you know what's even more pathetic as well is when you deep it on a grander scale. Nah, Billy, I don't think he is. But if so, then that'll just add to what I literally said, 5-6 minutes ago, that Dom and Chad Gable are basically feuding with all the luchadors. That is literally it. I still can't take it seriously. Like, I just can't. Nah, he ain't Kurt's successor. I don't agree. I don't think he even comes close. I think Kurt's successor is elsewhere, but...
See when you talk about the luchadors, I feel bad for Ray Phoenix. Compared to the treatment that Penta's got since he joined the WWE, I mean, Ray Phoenix seems to be...
Penta's fucked. Penta... Last night, Penta got his... he got his ladder spot just out of pity. Because when you look at it in the decent way, when you look at it as a full complexion, you don't get the elements. Like, in terms of Penta, and I stand by what I said last night on the preview show, Pentagon Jr., in terms of winning a singles title in WWE, is practically dead. Because of the fact they made him do the gory special with a butterfly pile driver, which is not what he does. He does a small package pile driver plus the gory special. They made him do something so out of place that he couldn't hold the weight, and he nearly killed Chad Gable. Chad Gable was, what, 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters maybe away from snapping his neck and dying on screen?
The only person who I actually would trust to do such a move like that is Kevin Owens. He was doing the pile drivers correctly, but I wouldn't trust anybody else.
No, it's not saying that. What's up, Zodiac? Good to see you. I'm not saying that you can't trust Penta. I'm just saying
he's not that type of wrestler. He's not made to do that moves.
No, he's done it before. Like I've shown evidence on the channel before that he does that combination together, but he doesn't do it that way. He doesn't do a gory bomb. He doesn't do the gory bomb with the butterfly pile driver. He does the gory bomb with the small package pile driver because that's one of his actual moves. I think the reason they didn't do, the reason he didn't do the small package pile driver, I think, is because of Kevin Owens, because they both use the same move. But I don't think that should matter. I think regardless, they still do it. I don't think he's the modern Kurt. They're basing it off Kurt. To be fair, I said long last year that you were going to see American Made become a team anyway. They were going to put Chad Gable with the Creed brothers anyway, and there'll be like a remade team angle.
It's not going anywhere anyway.
It doesn't even come close at all. It'll never come close.
No.
I like Chad Gable, but Chad Gable got fucked over the minute that he was not booked to beat Gunther at WrestleMania, and they gave it to Sami Zayn. The minute they gave it to him, that was it.
Even on that note, Chad Gable should have bet Sami Zayn for the IC title.
Mm-hmm.
Chad Gable should never have lost that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, and that is sadly true as well, Catherine. But yeah, I stand by it. I'm a big fan of Pentagon Jr. and it hates I have to come across and be so negative about him before we even get to the men's Money in the Bank. But the minute they made him do that gory bomb butterfly pile driver combination on Raw and it nearly killed Chad Gable, that was it. He's still going to get that entrance. He's still going to get to do his shit to an extent, but he is not going to win a singles title. And if he does win a singles title, it's going to be a quick transition. It'll be like you're champion for a week, 2 weeks minimum, in an event, you're dropping it. Plain and simple. And I hate that's what he's been reduced to. I really do. Let's talk about this women's Intercontinental title match. I stand by what I said as well last night. I don't know if you've seen the previous show last night, Josh, but I know James did. When you look at, there are real successful. You are right. In real combat sports, there's a lot of successful funny guys, but in terms of actually being successful, you need to go a little bit further than being serious. This match has one fatal flaw, and I mentioned it last night. The fatal flaw is the last chance stipulation should never be for a heel challenger. It should be for a heel champion. The babyface should be the one with the last chance, not the champion. Not the champion given out to the challenger. I think they got it wrong, and it's why it actually affects the quality of the match itself. It ended up becoming a finisher fest as well. That's back-to-back events where they had finisher fests. And the fact is, as well, is that referee stopped count as well. Do you notice that they stopped the 10 count for the outside of the ring after after that fucking awful Michinoku driver type thing that she does? But James, come at you first. What did you think on the match last night between WWE's Talking Squirrel and the writer from Hell?
Same as you. Completely underwhelming. I just said the stipulation should have just gone to the babyface, really, which is Lyra, not Becky. It's ridiculous. The match itself, it was just You just said it. You just took the words right out of my mouth. Finish your fest, and it was like watching a carbon copy of Cena at Orton. It's backlash to an extent. So
Yeah.
I wasn't impressed, and I was never going to be impressed with this match anyway. So, but Becky was going to win it. That was the obvious thing.
Absolutely. I don't like him. Obviously, there's comments in the chat. I'm going to bring your comments up on screen now, guys. The only reason I've not brought your comments up on the screen for this moment is just so you can all see like how the. Actually, if I try this one, hold on. There we go. If I do it like this, now you can see that. It just means the comments might come up on ahead of James there, but that's nothing I can do. But I'll try and fix it. Hold on. Let me see if I can fix it. Can I change that? Let me see if I can. If I remove that. Oh, hold on. Sorry, my bad. My bad. Totally different perspective, though, guy. Totally different perspective. Right, if I do that, I need to get. There we go. If I put James up there, and then I put Josh underneath. Just fixing this up a little bit, guys. 1 second. Increase the size, and then your comments can come up on screen. I'm just waiting to see how it shows. 1 second. I'm just having a look. It should go same order as before, though. Let me just have a look. Yeah, that looks better. I've got on YouTube on one of my free monitors, so I just wanted to see how it looks. But yeah, that looks good. That looks good. But I don't like it being circular. Let me fix that. I do not like it being as circles. Which sounds horrible, but it's true. It's just how I do things. Square. There.
The guy too got about Becky Lynch and
She is.
It's two different companies, you know, two different companies, two different bookers, so you can't really can't really relate the two because you know they're not the same.
She can't go without burying someone. That's the funny thing. I expected Becky to win anyway, but that's why I put on my prediction: new champion Becky Hogan Lynch. It's not what I have against circles. It's just I prefer when it looks like a square. People just get so offended by shapes. I wish it was pentagons.
You should do a triangle.
I wish. Josh, you need to go in 10 minutes. That's fine, not a problem. It's still good to see you, my man. It's still good to see you. I know he really can't. Right, comments on the screen is going to be difficult, so I'll leave it like this.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm biased because of both Irish. You know, I thought the match was actually okay, but I don't think the ending was right. I don't understand. I mean, Lara said that she had no issue raising the hand of anybody who was the better woman, but Becky Lynch cheated to beat Lara, so she technically wasn't the better woman as she cheated to win. So I don't think that made much sense. And then what I mean, I don't know if anybody noticed this, because I don't know if you paid attention to this. James, maybe you specifically. Lara was very angry in her entrance. You could tell her face with the way she was walking to the ring during her entrance. She was losing that title. She looked completely very similar to Joe Hendry when he was losing his title to Trick Williams. You could just tell when Lara was walking to the ring how pissed off she was. And I don't think she was happy with it. I think Lara was her moves were not smooth, and she was getting very flustered in certain moments. And I think Lara Victoria has a lot of work, and I think working with Becky Lynch to a certain degree will help her. But yeah, the thing is, everybody knew how this match was going to end, and we all know their final match will be Evolution 2, and Lara will probably be back in, and that'll be the end of it. But so I'm a bit biased because I'm from Northern Ireland. These two are Irish. I've seen them. I've seen Becky in person. I haven't seen Lara in person. Hopefully, maybe I'll see her. Maybe she'll come to Dublin when SmackDown is here. But Yeah, I think it's very similar to maybe the women's Money in the Bank match. Lara has a lot to work on. Becky Lynch doesn't need the IC title. Do you know what I mean? Like there's no benefit for Becky Lynch to win that title. This is just purely to keep the feud going on. End the match at Evolution, and that was it. Really, probably another filler match, kind of so to speak. I don't think they needed another match after their last one, a Backlash. I personally don't think they needed this, but obviously WWE decided they needed it.
I actually, before we get James' comments on this one, I genuinely think if they make a third match out of this, then it's going to be absolutely stupid.
It'll be an Evolution. Evolution's an all-women pay-per-view. They'll do it there.
It'll be absolutely stupid. So,
I know somebody said in the comments, I don't know if you're still here, about them doing it in Dublin, but I mean, that's in the 21st of August, and we're only at the start of June. They're not going to drag it out that long. If they do, it'd be one of the worst things to watch on TV.
I'm the same as you, Zodiac, and the funny thing is people are already doing what I specifically said not to do tonight. So, guys, can we please stop trying to piss me off? Like, I specifically said I do not want anyone from other companies brought up. So, can we seriously stop? Otherwise, I'm going to start deleting comments. And I don't want it. I don't like deleting comments unless they're genuinely abusive shit to either of you. So, can we stop now? Like, I'm putting my foot down on this one. James, have you got anything else you want to add on the Intercontinental title match, even like the conclusion?
Yeah, the finish was very odd. I mean, you saw the pin, how she got the pin. It was very weird. But just going back on Becky Lynch, it's like she is what Roman Reigns is. What's she got left to prove? What is it? What's for her going forward? Nothing really.
Well, she's put, as I said, she's put over Lara Valkyria, and ultimately in their third match at Evolution, she'll lose, and then Lara Valkyria will be put over. So I think that's really all it is. I mean, after that feud, where does Becky Lynch go?
Hopefully to retirement.
I don't think the WWE really missed Becky Lynch when she was away for the last year. I don't think anybody was crying for Becky Lynch back unless you were an absolute fan person of her. I don't think the WWE missed her. I think, if again, as you say, some of the Roman Reigns, her time in the WWE is no longer required.
They didn't miss her, and they didn't miss Charlotte Flair, but they're so obsessed with bringing those two back because they think something's going wrong when nothing is going wrong. They just need to actually invest in the talent they've got and actually care about them.
Similar to John Cena as well, her heel turn's been shocking. She just shouts on the mic about a bunch of stuff that you don't really care about.
I said the minute he turned heel on the Elimination Chamber review, this was already going to fail from the beginning. I've never once pivoted. I said that would fail from the very beginning, and we're 4 months into that heel turn, and I've yet to be proven wrong.
He needs to be a babyface ASAP, yeah.
No, he just needs to fuck off.
Yeah, he does in December, but he'll be around until then. But he's better as a babyface.
That is also true, Catherine. They really can't. They can't. Charlotte will win one soon, whether it may be. She is going to. She needs to run over to SmackDown and snag that US title. We need Chelsea Green to just break her face.
Who's Zelina Vega?
No, well, to be fair, Chelsea Green needs to get payback on her for that anyway, but Chelsea Green needs to win something serious. I'm annoyed they didn't even have a surprise entrant last night into that fucking match so she could win it. Right, men's now. She might be here at night. Hopefully 9 o'clock-ish. Ailey saying she might be here around about 9. That's when I spoke to her last. So I'm hoping so. So hopefully, James, Josh, in the comments you can fire in and just keep it coming in the chat. It'd be good to keep you around. When someone makes a comparison like Stone Cold and Kurt, it doesn't mean they're better or the same, just similar. I don't get the Stone Cold comparison to Becky Lynch, though. For me, she's a Ric Flair Rock ripoff. The man is based off Ric Flair, and her moveset is literally The Rock. Like, her whole finisher is The Rock. Let's be real. Apart from the armbar, but everything else is the same. But I look in general, that's what she is. But I think it's just not as appealing anymore. I think, weirdly enough, Charlotte was right about her. She has to keep redefining herself to stay consistent, whereas Charlotte just comes in, wins the title, then disappears to get a surgery.
See what it meant in the Bank ladder match. do you both agree that LA Knight should have won it, or
Yes, I had LA Knight to win it anyway.
because that's 3 matches now in a row. He in Money in the Bank, he's not won.
I was at one of them. I was at the one 2 years ago. I was at his first Money in the Bank match.
Are they actually going to pull the trigger on LA Knight?
No.
I really thought this was going to be the year they done it. I mean,
no, that's it. That's it now.
I have to ask, right?
Go on.
Do you agree with Seth Rollins? Because Seth Rollins wants to power in the WWE, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Paul Heyman. You can obviously see why. I'm not saying we obviously don't agree with it, but you can see why Seth Rollins won it for the reasonings of what's going on in the WWE. So you can understand why he won it. But do you actually think it was the right call? And then second of all, because I want your opinions on this before I go. Do we think he cashes in tomorrow night after the Jey Uso Gunther match? I remember John Cena's there too, but I don't think he'll not go after Cena.
Well, I stand by. I said he was going to cash in on Raw, regardless. I think the champion's going to be cashed in on the
Jey Uso run, because there is not a chance in hell Gunther is. Well, here's the question. This is a good point. Obviously, Gunther's booking's been very tainted after WrestleMania, and he tapped out of WrestleMania, which was by far the wrong call. Like, he should never have tapped out. Probably should never have lost, but he should never have tapped out. So, like, in which way, if Seth Rollins cashes in tomorrow, does it actually work well? Like, if Gunther beats Jey Uso, then it's Steph going to come in and pin Gunther, or are they going to have Jey Uso pin Gunther again? Or are they going to do what they did at WrestleMania 10, 11 years ago, and Seth Rollins turns it into a triple threat and pins?
It'll turn it into a triple threat. The reason why I think it was the wrong call is because it goes against everything that Rollins claims about his whole faction, and it's about he's determining the future of wrestling, which is just absolutely funny. If he wants to prove he is superior, even though his faction is literally just the third, fourth, fifth iteration of the bloodline, except there's no fucking Samoans in it. Like, legit Samoans from that bloodline family. When you look at his group, it doesn't actually do anything. He's basically found a cheaper way to establish a title, and it doesn't actually help. And I don't think the Money in the Bank does it for him. I think, personally, if you're going to give someone an opportunity to take something high, who's actually proven themselves and could potentially go and do something as a world champion, LA Knight was the best shape for it, to do it, because he is still over. I'm not saying Seth Rollins is not, but him winning the Money in the Bank doesn't actually give something of significance. I think even if you look in the match as well, like, it was never going to be Solo Sikoa, because we knew he's going to SummerSlam to
feud with Jacob, yeah.
See, on that was awful as well. That was awful.
But you know as well, what's the point of Damian Priest calling out Jacob Fatu too?
Yeah,
because it looked like that's what they were going on, but now, do you know what I mean? Like, where are they going with that?
You know what they should have done last night? This is something actually I find really funny. This is something I want to propose to everybody, including the chat. What if, go back to what Chad Gable said when they were shown the sponsorship ladder, the fireball thing, which is absolutely pathetic as well. I mean, you're winning a Money in the Bank briefcase sponsored by Cash App, and then you're fucking climbing a ladder sponsored by Fireball. He said on that show, tell me where the ladder's getting placed, but also tell El Grande Americano. Why not simply you just put Chad Gable, you smack him with a steel chair hard enough that his mind goes psycho, because he's a clown anyway. Have him have a mind reset. If he goes under the ring, the mask is left behind. Out comes Chad Gable. Chad Gable climbs the fucking ladder, and Chad Gable wins, becomes Money in the Bank. Oh, wait. I mean, there you go. There's logic that WWE don't have, but there you go. But I think in reality, I think the way they done it was stupid. I think LA Knight was the best position to do it. He already held, to be fair, the amount of times he's held the US title and tried to redeem that title can't be redeemed either. the perspective of the title isn't going anywhere, and I don't think it's going to make matters. I think you make matters worse.
I think you're right because Logan Paul trash run. LA Knight took it back. It was being defended every single week. It was on live defense. Shinsuke Nakamura then took it. He did absolutely nothing with that.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
his title reign was absolutely disrespectful to Shinsuke. I mean, Shinsuke Nakamura could have done so much with that title, yet they did nothing with him. LA Knight won it back. Not as good as the first one, but he's got a wee bit better than Jacob Fatu's. Well, Jacob Fatu's had no feuds. And then he's had this hand with Damian Priest, but then that makes no sense after what happened with Solo. So, yeah, you don't know where that's all. I mean, surely they're not going to turn this Jacob Solo feud and include the United States Championship into it.
Oh, it is that.
Logically, it has no sense for that to happen.
No, I think so. I don't know if James agrees. So I'm gonna let James give his opinion on the Money in the Bank in a second. But I actually think Solo wins the US title at SummerSlam. I think so.
Yeah.
I think he does. Yeah, I think he will win that title at SummerSlam. But James, what did you think on the Money in the Bank? And I know obviously Seth Rollins was your pick to win it because again, predictable. Absolutely, I chose to go for LA Knight because I wanted some logic, but WWE don't think like me. But what did you think? And I know you went with the predictable choice, but do you echo everyone's statements that Seth Rollins was the right choice wrongly? Well, it was not the right choice, sorry. Or do you think actually was in the circumstance?
I agree. LA Knight was the best option to win it, without a doubt, because it went for Seth. It's not going to elevate him even more. In this faction that he's currently got, where's it actually going to go? To be honest,
they've repeated like they've done last year again.
Yeah,
they've done it the same way. Like it's Drew McIntyre all over again.
Yeah.
Which are you gonna have? Are you gonna have people were crying for Roman Reigns last night? Clowns, but the people are gonna cry and clown and hope that he cost Seth Rollins the cash in.
CM Punk should.
I don't think it really matters, but yeah, James, carry on.
No. The match itself. Completely agree. Oh, Grandy or Chad Gable, whatever the fuck his name is, to be honest. And Andrade, the two of them absolutely offered nothing really in the match. That's all. Penta was probably the standout for me in terms of how we conducted himself. But what really got me was that, and you said it last night, Reece, the interferences. As soon as Braun and Bronson came out, that was it. And then obviously you had Jacob and what's his name?
JC Mateo.
Yeah, that's it.
Just cause Mateo.
Yeah. And how long did that take? The whole thing with him.
It's like 10 minutes. It's like 10 minutes from that walking out. Yeah.
10 minutes, and then all of a sudden, oh wait, we've got a match to carry on. It was just. I mean, it's not. It wasn't the worst match I've seen, but it could have been a lot better. Yeah, but it could have been a lot better. It could have been a whole lot better, to be honest.
Catherine, what a fucking comment is that meant to be? Oh. Catherine, sometimes your mind scares me with your comments. There's a lot of back and forth discourse in the chat about Becky and Charlotte. I'm going to say this now, and to end, you guys, if you want to keep continuing talking about Ginger and Algae all you want, that's okay. But when it comes to Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair in general, they offer nothing in 2025 and beyond. They don't. Maria, I think you're the closest in terms of echoing our statements, but it was a mid-match. For me, this was absolute horseshit. It was ridiculous. It was overbooked. And again, the same thing. People were sitting, wasting their time doing nothing. They tried to be... Did you notice, because we did the end of the watch-along, because we do like the little match watch-alongs. I don't know if you've seen these, Josh. But we do like a separate watch-along stream on the channel now. So the end of the show last night, I did the first Money in the Bank from WrestleMania 21. at the very end of the show, and they tried to outdo the Shelton Benjamin run the ladder spot with El Grande Americano, and I'm like, it doesn't matter what you do, you can never top that spot because that spot was authentic. And obviously, Chris Jericho and Shelton Benjamin are still bigger stars than what was involved in terms of like the spot they tried to do. I don't think you're going to get anything. I think they're failing regardless either way. So
I need to go, but I just want was one small point I want to pin out. See when Braun Breaker came out, didn't you see they tried to recreate the spear that Braun Breaker had on Carlito on El Grande Americano, and they completely missed a shot off it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They tried to have this whole thing. He ran down on 20 miles per hour, speared him in half, and just completely missed a shot off it.
Oh yeah, it was. It just shows that they're failing where it matters most, and the fact that they overbooked. I said this match was going to be overbooked to shit. I said it, and I'm not surprised.
Have you not noticed how Triple H's big matches, are starting to have a similar theme where it is just constant people coming out?
It was I don't know how you can project, like, if that had been any other company, you would get slaughtered for that, missing that spot. Like, I can't believe they missed something as cool as that. I like the way he does a spear. It'll never be better than the Gore. Like, I don't think it'll ever be better than the Gore. I think the Gore is the best ever.
That's Rhino's one, isn't it? Yeah.
That's Rhino's, yeah. But I think Braun Breaker still puts a lot of speed, momentum, and at least some effort into it. And you miss that shot, and I'm like, wow.
They overuse the spear too much now, because obviously you've got Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso trying to use it now. Jimmy Uso's spear is the worst. That's the worst spear I've ever seen in my life.
No, Jey Uso that is the worst spear I've ever seen. Like, that is horrible shit. I've never, like, his spear, honestly, is like watching.
Jimmy's is really bad.
Like, I think his spear is that bad. It's like watching James Ellsworth trying to do a super kick.
Why do people? James Ellsworth, man. Oh my god.
Good for her.
What about Ricky? You know, Kevin Owens' former tag partner. Was it Kevin Owens? Or was it somebody else? Can't remember. You know, remember Ricky, like that bald guy who came out to be a tag partner for somebody on a SmackDown once? It was Kevin Owens, because then Randy Orton came out after.
I just don't understand how you can have such an awful attempt at a spear.
Goldberg? Yeah, I did not look forward to that retirement match when you mentioned Goldberg.
That's if Goldberg ever gets to a retirement match, because he's constantly getting injured.
It's going to be against Comfort. I've definitely already kind of oversold that.
I mean, you can add to that, Jamie. What in particular do you think is worse? I just want to hear what you're saying. I don't think I've ever seen Jey Uso hit a spear that good at all. I don't think I've ever seen him hit a good spear. I think generally it's just poor. Like,
it's been overused, hasn't it?
Yeah. And I feel like people cannot do an iteration that's successful. I think aesthetically, not just about causing damage, but aesthetically looking, I still think in general, Rhinos is the best. For me, the top three of all time, my opinion, like my personal opinion, the top three spears of all time, it's Rhino's Gore, then it's Yota Tsuji's Gene Blast, and then it's Braun Breaker's. Have fun, Matt. Enjoy. That's my top three. That's my top three of all time. And then I've got... I don't know what you're saying. That's why I said whatever you said is worse. I don't know what you're talking about. But welcome to the stream. I don't even remember it.
Picture.
Oh, got it.
I don't think so, Maria. I mean, of course, that's your opinion. Of course, I don't think so. I think the opposite. I think Rhino's is a lot better. I think though Goldberg's was just a bloody shoulder tackle. Jay's best at looking in pain went under.
Jay is doing 80% of his wrestling moves. It's just a super kick and that's it. Super kick and a splash.
A super kick, a splash, the Rock's punch combo. A
suicide dive or the ascent dive, whatever it's called.
A suicide dive and saying the same word over and over and to no appeal.
Yeah, I got the commentators to dance as well.
4 letters, 1 word. Yeet. That's what you hear from him.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he did. Goldberg does win a lot of his matches with the jackhammer. I mean, that was his finisher. But in terms of like the spear, like it was a good setup for the jackhammer. I just don't think it's the best. To be fair, though, he probably has the coolest rotation of his body for it, though. Austin Aries has done a spear through the middle rope, though. Like in terms of the middle rope, there's been instances where he's done it, but Johnny Gargano does it as well. There's a few others, like Copeland does one from the outside of the ring, which I don't agree with. Goldberg is still the master of the spear. I don't think so. I think it's good that everyone has a different opinion when it comes to it, though. I think that's a good thing. But to be fair, there will still never be a cooler spear. No, you're fine, you're guy. You're fine. There's so many people that have done it. I don't care what anyone says. There will never be a spear or a gore better than the one that Rhino did on Jericho through the SmackDown stage, or the one they did Abyss through the wall. Like he speared him through a wall. Bobby Lashley does have a good spear. And absolutely not, Catherine. I will never do that. Thank you. Never gonna happen.
Why are you no yet?
I am absolutely against it.
Oh, so you're what, no yet?
You're not getting me to do it either. Not a chance.
I am neither exactly. It's fucking ridiculous. It doesn't inspire me a lot. To be fair, there's so many moves. I say there's so many moves that have been overused. Like you've got the spear, you've got Eddie Guerrero's moveset, which I did mention a couple of weeks ago, really annoys me. I hate the fact that people are overusing Eddie Guerrero's moveset, and it needs to stop.
You're talking about the Three Amigos that Dom and Liv do?
The Three Amigos, the frog splash, the shoulder dance that he does, it's all overused. And there's like 7 or 8 wrestlers that does it, and I'm like, you can love Eddie Guerrero and honor his memory, but can we please stop overdoing his moveset? I genuinely don't like it. The DDT's overused, the super kick's overused, Enzuigi's, yeah, splashes. There's so much of it. Lashley's always used the spear. No, Maria, no, will never happen.
I'll transfer you £100 for 1 eat.
You can transfer me the £100, but I'm not doing it. I just will not. See, that's the funny thing. If they want to find more dead guys to imitate, like, I'm okay with paying respect to the past, like past talents that are no longer with us. But can we stop just doing Eddie Guerrero all the time? Like, can we have something different?
Yeah, once or twice it's fine, but overdoing it.
Yeah, like she's been mentioned so many times tonight, but I'll say it, I don't like the fact that even though it's her favourite wrestler, I don't like that Mercedes Moné overdoes his moveset. I don't like that, even though I think he's brilliant. Mike Santana does it. He does the Three Amigos and the Frog Splash, and I don't like it. It just doesn't interest me. I want to see people do other stuff. Like, nobody, not even a big man, has done like any inspiration from, say, John Tenta or Andre the Giant in years. And I'm like, can we have some of that? I'm not saying anyone jump around the ring and do fucking... I'm not saying jump around the ring and do an earthquake splash, but I want to see someone do some moves that Earthquake used to that was amazing. Like, his power slam was incredible. But we don't get that anymore. And I'm like, can we just have some unique shit instead of the same person?
When Reece goes off camera, he eats.
I do not. Never done it once. And I will
think you're
never
pushing
do
it
it.
off there, Billy.
He is pushing his luck. He is 100% pushing his luck.
Reece, it's been a pleasure, but I do need to go. Thank you very much for having me on. I hope to
It
do it
is.
again in the near future. Maybe 6 months again.
Just drop me a message anytime you want. I don't mind. Anytime. Getting 2 hours out of you, my friend, is still good. It's been too long. And next time I'm doing a football quiz, don't say you're going to say it and then don't turn up. You will show up.
You have to text me and remind me. James, a pleasure talking to you.
Oh, I will.
Yes, I'll see you again,
Okay,
Josh.
guys. See you later.
Ta-ra.
He is a good guy, by the way. Josh, he's a good lad. An Irish boy that supports Chelsea, which is an unfortunate circumstance, but he's a nice lad. He is genuinely a nice lad. But yeah, he done many things. I still don't agree with it. Like, I still don't agree with using the same. To be fair, that's another thing that's become a problem. The German suplex. Like it's an amazing move, but so many people use it, and I'm like, I don't know how much longer I can cope with that as well. I mean, it's good that obviously, in terms of utilization, Josh Alexander and Chad Gable use it, but it is becoming so involved as well. Is there any other moves you think that's becoming so overused? I'm trying to think if there's any other ones.
I'm not sure, actually.
The Destroyer, maybe?
Yeah,
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Them, yeah.
And I hate the fact that they keep renaming it just because as luchadors will call it the Mexican Destroyer when it's just the Canadian Destroyer, or just call it the Destroyer.
Yeah.
The Cutter is another one, yeah.
Yeah, that's the point, yeah.
I'm trying to think what else is overused. What else is overused? We've already mentioned the super kick. So the German suplex, the DDT, the cutter, super kick, splashes, spears, Destroyer, Eddie Guerrero's moveset, clothesline knockdowns, yeah. And that is true. Bret Hart did call out Ric Flair for his moves. The chop. The knife edge chop has become so overused as well.
Oh, yeah.
Someone needs to bring back old school. Well, Elijah does in TNA, but he uses it. Damian Priest tries to, but then he changes his. He just does the rope walk, but he at least changes the move. Actually, there's another move that's overused: the choke slam. The choke slam, yeah. Iron Claw, that wouldn't be a bad idea. The Iron Claw hasn't been used as much. Like, I think the last person who used the Iron Claw in WWE was Kane when he returned as the Mask in 2012.
Yeah, that's the best in the past. That the Iron Claw, yeah.
Fruit roll-ups, yeah. Suicide dives and apron enzuigiris, yeah. What else is overused? Ref bumps.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started on finishers getting kicked out of, honestly. Like, or we'll be here for like another 4 or 5 hours of me ranting on finishers getting kicked out of. No, we don't need Mr. Socko to come back, but the mandible claw, to be fair, hasn't been seen since Bray Wyatt, and obviously Britt Baker. Like, sorry, Catherine, but Britt Baker has her own version of it as well. That her lock thing is a similar version of the mandible claw. Who else uses a mandible claw? There's somebody else. Pointing to where someone is gonna run. Yeah. There's somebody else who uses the mandible claw besides Mick Foley and Bray Wyatt, God rest his soul, and Skit Skaker or Shit Taker as she really is. There's somebody else. Who else uses the mandible claw?
I'm trying to think now.
I know that there is someone, There is someone that uses the mandible claw.
God, my mind's gone black now.
There is I know for a fact there is definitely someone that uses the mandible claw. Texas Cloverleaf, I would love to see that come back. Although to be fair, Sheamus does use it, does he not? Sheamus uses the Texas Cloverleaf. I know people preferred the Mr. Socko version of the mandible claw, but to be honest, I preferred it when he used the original Mankind, when he had his 2 fingers taped. You know, when he had his 2 fingers taped. I thought that was really cool.
Oh
Killer,
yeah, really
Killer,
good.
Killer Kowalski used like the chicken. He used the crossface chicken wing type maneuver that he has, which I do like. But where's the? But yeah, I prefer this version of him. I know people prefer the white shirt Mick Foley and for Mankind, but I actually prefer this version. Or even if they had kept the hand for this but made it white. This is my favorite version of Mankind. The original for me was so good. To be fair, I liked it when he did the tape, when he had his fingers taped, when he initially became the white shirt. Fuck off your YouTube premium bollocks. Nah, he just used it as a gimmick, 1,000 holds. That's why I love when Chris Jericho cooked him. But yeah, like, it wasn't really as such. Let's see. That's the mandible claw and bark gun. Let's see who else has the mandible claw. Dr. Samuel Shepard had it in the 60s and the 70s as a mandibular nerve pinch. That's true, actually. Someone else has used it. I know someone else has used it. Jericho really knew 1004. Yeah, that was a good set. I love the fact he kept going back as well.
Hold number 700 and whatever.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing every time.
Yeah, armbar.
Yeah. What's this? The dark history of the mandible claw. What? Okay, that I never knew. Wow. Holy shit. You know how I just told you about Sam Shepard using it in the 60s and the 70s?
Yeah.
Do you want to know what that move was renamed to?
Go on, what was it?
The Wife Killer. He killed his wife using that move.
Okay, now.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And then 1960. So it says here the Wife Killer was no subtle way, but was undeniably potent in bringing in crowds to see Shepard in person. Using his medical background, Shepard devised a horrific tool of torture. But it got to the point where the move actually led to crowds actually, when the move was held, the crowd got up and left. So I'm not kidding, I'm looking at this right now. So there was a crooked murder trial where he was accused of murdering his wife. Shepard was wrongfully convicted in 1954 and spent 10 years in prison. 1966, a second trial, he was acquitted and released after years of high court legal battles. So it looks like either he killed her or didn't kill her. He was acquitted. But that they're saying that move was what killed his wife, which is crazy. And there's actually a film based on him, The Fugitive. Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones. It is based on him.
What the hell?
That is crazy.
That is mental.
Honest to God, there's so much dark stuff here about the mandible claw. Like, this article has got 3 indications of dark stories behind it. So listen, this is about Mick Foley. Listen to this. I swear I'm actually learning this for the first time, ladies and gentlemen. I did not know this. So Mick Foley credits promoter and manager Jim Cornette with the idea of using the mandible claw. Cornette was inspired by what he read about the Sam Shepard case, but before he could use the move, he had to ask Bill Watts permission to use it. He had to ask his And then Bill Watts shot it down, saying, "Why don't I just bite your goddamn fingers off?" Which is absolutely true. So this was before he went to WWE. Then he got to WWE, obviously, and Foley had to persuade Vince to let him use the mandible claw. He said it was credible and he was not going to go anything further with it. And he's like, "Well, I've got a way to do it." And it actually obviously got over with the fans. Obviously, they then changed it to the sock version of it. But I think the sock version obviously fit in well with the Attitude Era, which I absolutely understand. But I think the best version was when he had taped fingers. It looked worse because you saw like you could see the saliva on the fingers, which I think was actually a really cool aesthetic. It shows like he is physically making it like in the gullet, like you're struggling to breathe, which is absolutely crazy. And then there's one here. They're talking about like the Bray Wyatt one. The Bray Wyatt version here is the mandible claw was never supposed to come out from the lighting, but the reason why they removed the mandible claw during the lights is because it was because obviously he did the like like shaking between the lights and all that, and the lights were on and off, and you could see the Fiend character. When it went to red lighting, fans in the crowd were actually freaking out. So they stopped all that because of young fans, like kids. It mentions here children making them uncomfortable. So they stopped doing that. That's why the Fiend lost his lighting when it came to his post-match attacks with the mandible claw. That is manic. Like that is for a move that's dangerous. That is fucking crazy.
Well, the more you know.
You learn shit every day, don't you, ladies and gentlemen? Let's see. Can I find? Is there anyone else who used the mandible claw? It doesn't look like it, but actually, this one might be here. Actually, let's see. I might have it here. Let's see. Can I find anyone else who used it? Nah. But that's still wild. See you later. Fuck them kids. Jesus Christ. I was waiting for somebody to eventually say that in here, but that is honestly the wildest thing. But that happens. Like there's moves that generally can cause discomfort, and I get it. Like, I'm not saying in reality you should stop because of a certain audience, but when you look at it in the worst way, how can you realistically enjoy it if it's going to make you uncomfortable? For me, I thought the mandible claw back in the day was cool. Like, I always thought it was one of the coolest like moves to hold, but I get it.
Didn't bother me when I was watching it as a kid.
Yeah, every time it came on, I was like, yeah, this is game over. Like, I can't even show the original, like the very first one they did on Bob Holly, because then YouTube will go, this is not a strike, but if it was money, like the creator's been monetized, the creator has been notified, so you can't make money. If I was like, well, I'm not even making money on my channel yet, for fuck's sake. Unless I put in a Cash App link, which I don't even have. So don't start with the nonsense. But yeah, exactly. I watched it. To be fair, The Exorcist fucking freaked me out as a kid, but I still loved the movie. I still went back and kept watching it because it was just such a good film. Where were we last? Oh yeah, I'm hoping she'll appear soon. If she does, she did say she was going to cook this shit show, is her exact words, by the way. But let's talk this main event, because I think that's where we're at next. We haven't really done anything about the main event yet. So Logan Paul and John Cena versus the Cokehead Nightmares. That's what they were looking for a tag team name, so I'm calling them the Cokehead Nightmare. what did you think on the tag match in general?
Completely as expected. Absolute shite.
Yeah.
To be honest. Nothing to it whatsoever. I mean, all right, I didn't expect the finish where our truth came out of nowhere. I didn't expect that, but the build up to it was nothing to it. I mean,
Yeah.
you could have had the world top one of the title. Well, you could have had Jey Uso actually defending the title that last night instead of doing it on Raw against
Mhm.
Gunther. That would have been a better. Even though I don't think that match would have been any good still, but it would have been better than this.
Exactly.
I'm sticking with me, and I made a point about a few months, a couple of weeks back, saying if Cena's going to lose the title, it can't be Cody Rhodes again. I don't think Cody needs it.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be someone else, and but who I don't know, but it's got to be someone else in the long run.
I think that's a fair assessment, but the thing is, it seems like they're going to do it. I don't think. I mean, I'm not going to be watching Night of Champions, but I think if I'm going to give like an early prediction now, I mean, I suppose I could do the predictions for you guys if you want, but I won't be. I won't be watching. I won't be reviewing it. I'll just announce who wins. When I look at in general, the shows in Saudi, are they seriously going to take CM Punk to Saudi to win King of the Ring? Or is it going to be Sami Zayn? But if it's Sami Zayn, then that means he doesn't win the Royal Rumble when people think he's going to win the Rumble. And I think Braun Breaker doesn't win the Royal Rumble until like like a year or two, like 2027, 2028. I don't get I don't get it. I think when I look at King of the Ring, whoever wins King of the Ring, I'm expecting them to lose to Cena. I don't think they're challenging for the World Championship. I don't know. What do you guys in chat as well? What do you think, James? Who do you actually think is going to win King of the Ring, and what championship do you think they're going to challenge for?
I'm trying to think now.
We don't know who's in it yet. Obviously, the matches don't
I'm
start. The
just-
matches don't start
yeah,
until Monday.
I'm,
Until
yeah,
Monday.
I'm
So
just trying to think in my head who could possibly be in it.
I hope Chelsea Green wins the women's one.
I agree with that, definitely. As for the men's,
I get that, Zodiac. I get that. Yeah.
I'm not saying he wins it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Chad Gable's in it or Grandy.
Mm,
I wouldn't be surprised if he's in it.
yeah.
Sammy, I assume Sammy will probably be in it.
I don't think Karrion Cross is going to be in it. LA Knight, it would be. I think if LA Knight's in, I think if LA Knight actually appears in the money in the King of the Ring, and even he probably gets eliminated in the first or second round. What's that bad bull? He says it was a 1 out of 5. Well, to be fair, mate, like your results, you got a 3 out of 5. So at least you done better on these than you did on than the show's rating. But it's good to see you. Quite an interesting show. You missed my buddy Josh. He made his debut tonight. We're going to get hopefully Abil on the channel soon, and Billy. Anyone else that wants to join, hopefully soon. I want to get I want to get everybody a chance to actually come on the channel. So Carmelo Hayes. I mean, he wasn't in Money in the Bank, but I could see him being in it. I don't think he'll win it though.
It's a shout. That's a shout. He could be in it.
Chief Caterer Shirley's in it, so he can lose to whoever eventually wins it. I think it's going to be I think it's a SmackDown winner. I think for the women's side, I think it's SmackDown. I think Chelsea Green wins Queen of the Ring. But King of the Ring, I don't know if they'll do both brands or if they'll split one each. I don't know. We already know that the winner of King of the Ring will challenge their brand's world champion at SummerSlam anyway. For me, the King of the Ring winner should realistically then be the main event.
Yeah.
And the WWE title currently is on SmackDown, therefore the WWE title should not main event SummerSlam. Sorry, Cena fans, but if unless the winner of the King of the Ring challenges it, then circumstances Stephanie Vacour wins Queen of the Ring. Possibly.
I mean, you could be right with it. I'm not sure. Could be.
Wouldn't be a bad shout either, but I don't know. I think that's too. I think she could get all the way. Stephanie, I would hate to see her lose in the final. If Ron Killings wins the Money in the Bank, I swear to God, that will honestly be pathetic. That's actually in my head now. Thanks, Abel. But yeah, he's got a point. What if a 53-year-old wins it? Jordan Grace won't come close. She won't come close. Roxanne Perez could win it though.
Do you know? I was actually going to mention her. She's probably.
I think Selena Vega loses the US title at Night of Champions though.
No, she has to drop. I think she needs to drop it.
Yeah, Julia's definitely taking that belt off her.
Yeah.
Okay, Zodiac, that's quite the question. What about Braun wins King of the Ring, wins a championship, and Seth eventually cashes in on him down the road? That would be very interesting. But then when I look at it, we'll see what you think about this, James, and everyone in the chat. If he was to cash in on Braun, is that kicking Braun out the faction? Or is that to teach Braun a valuable lesson? You win the title when it's your time. This is too early for you. Even though Braun is great to be a world champion anyway, he has got the look and he's actually capable in all elements. He ticks all the boxes. Jade Cargill, I think Jade Cargill takes the title off Naomi, Abu. I stand by it. She's won the briefcase. She's won the briefcase to job to Jade. But yeah, go on, James. What are you thinking?
I think that's you can make a case for both arguments there. But everyone would assume if Braun won it and then Seth cashes in, that's everyone's. Everyone would assume, Braun's going to get kicked out now. But what you just said there, that second point, that could possibly happen, like a little a learning curve for them to say, here, this is too soon for you. I need to take the reins off you.
Mm-hmm.
So you could be right on that. But again, we just have to see who's in it first, who's in the actual tournament.
Yeah. Maria says she thinks Naomi is going to be women's champion for almost a year. First of all, I want to say, if that happens, fair play to you for predicting that. But on what grounds do you think she's going to hold the title for almost a year? I generally don't see that happening. I don't know how you keep the belt on Naomi for over a year.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, it's bold. It's bold shouts, but
yeah, it is a very good shout. It's bold, but a very good one. But how do you keep the title on Naomi for almost or near to a year? Like, because that means she has to retain the title if she holds it for almost a year. That means she has to retain it past WrestleMania. Yeah. And is Naomi realistically capable enough to retain a title at WrestleMania against someone, say, like a Jade Cargill, who is likely to go and do it, even though Jade Cargill is crap? Like, she's regressed horrifically. I don't know. I even Bianca Belair as well. Like, I don't know. I think there's too much there to. She does have people though. Like, actually, to be fair, she does have people that can chase Naomi as champion. Like, they can be realistically their chasers, but I think it'd be crazy to have her go that long, because do you really think people are going to tolerate Bianca Belair losing, say, 2, 3 times to Naomi? Jade loses a couple of times. You've got Tiffany Stratton losing. Well, actually, to be fair, Tiffany Stratton can lose every time. I don't care. But even Tiffany Stratton losing 2 or 3 times over, it would be very interesting if they were to pull that off. I admire the shout, though, Maria. I'm not shutting that down in any way or form. I'm just trying to find. I'm trying to find the balance. I don't know, but also as well, do you really think they're going to keep the title away from someone like a Julia for that long? I doubt it. Are they going to keep it away from Vakur, who will just jump about roster to roster because she's a workhorse? Are they going to keep the title away from? Are they going to keep it away from Juniper June when she eventually debuts? I don't know.
Or even Perez, or even Roxanne Perez at some point.
Yeah, I think it's very tricky. She won't be busy for long though. That's the thing. It's a good shout. I don't know if they end up going that long though. Fair play to them, but again, we know what they're like. To be fair, anybody's better than Tiffany except Lacey Von Erich and Dana Scampy Brook, because they all equally suck. I don't know. It's an interesting one. I don't know if she'll hold the case that long. I think she'll want to try and get it over with quickly. But then again, Tiffany barely does anything that puts her in a jeopardy to have a cash in. That's actually another thing. Yeah, I think she's losing the title to Jordan. Not Jordan, Jade. I think Jade's the one that takes the title. But Jordan Grace, another one. That's another title challenger. I would have honestly. I hope that the one that beats her for the title is Chelsea Green. I think Chelsea's got the best gimmick on SmackDown. Period. Like her gimmick for me is the best thing WWE has for a woman on SmackDown.
She's the number one one of the best women's talent on the roster
By a mile.
Yeah, and then after that, you probably say Vakur and that.
Yeah, without a doubt. Fernando, I would love to, but I just can't because I just hate that bitch. She can't cut a promo. She's got a horrible gimmick. She can't wrestle. She belongs in a different profession. Can't stand her. Jade has good presentation, looks good. No, she looks crap. And Jordan Disgrace is straight trash. Based on what? Jade can't do anything except prove that Halle Berry is the only one that can pull off Storm. That's all I'm gonna say. She's regressed badly. She deserves this. It's quite the predicament. Not a great one either. But that just sums up though.
Yeah, definitely.
2 seconds. There we go. I'm trying to think as well, like in terms of where the direction of the divisions are going. I'm trying to think which one is actually in the best position to progress. I actually don't know.
Well, we haven't. Well, there's the tag teams haven't been mentioned. We're not on the card, and even again, they're not the strongest at the minute either. I mean, all right, you don't. I mean, who are the New Day are the champs on Raw, and then you've got Street Profits, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
But again, it's not enough strong competition, I'd say.
I agree. I don't think they can justify two lots of tag team champions again. I don't think they can justify it.
No.
They can definitely justify 2 world champions and 2 mid card champions, but I don't think they can justify 2 tag team champions. I gave Jade a chance a long time ago, Smooth. And then she started botching more than anybody I've ever seen. And I was like, I cannot take you seriously at all. I was like, I just can't. And you can go back and review this. I gave her a chance. I gave her a chance. I gave up on her a long time ago. Long time ago. She's been made to work slow. That's the difference. Because she wasn't slow before she went to WWE. I'll tell you that for a fact. As for I think you meant roided monster. She definitely got very heavy on them when she got into fucking powerlifting or whatever it was. Zelina botches, but I think Jade botches far more than Zelina. But Zelina's botches have been very, very dangerous. Like that woman really could have fucking done more harm to Chelsea Green. That was ridiculous. JC Jane is dreadful. JC Jane is absolutely useless. And I don't know how she's still in NXT. She's been in there for far too long. Smooth. I literally said I did that a long time ago. I'm not saying I don't notice her presentation. I just don't care. Like, there's nothing about her that stands out for me. It did a long time ago. It doesn't now. I can't overlook certain things. I just can't. And I'll tell you another thing that you guys are not going to like about it, but the funny thing is you can tell who's going to take the title off Jade when Jade becomes champion. It's very obvious who takes the belt off Jade when Jade eventually wins it. I don't think so, Maria. I don't think so. I think people, unfortunately, have given up on Zoe Stark in the worst way.
I'll be surprised if she lasts. If she comes back, I'll be surprised if she lasts a lot longer in WWE.
Mm-hmm. I'll be surprised if she lasts 6 weeks when she comes back. That's exactly who I'm thinking, Abdul. Charlotte will be the one that beats Jade for a title. She is going to take that off her and she is going to just add it to the collection.
And again, what does that do for her going forward? And nothing.
Yeah. Exactly. She'll have some sort of bizarre identity crisis where she thinks she's going to be a useful worker and she'll put people over and then she'll go, actually, I should just win the title because I didn't get the win on against Tiffany, so I should beat Jade, and they'll give it to her. I can just see it happening. And I think that's a really bad idea. The thing is, though, Maria's, this is a unfortunate thing, is you can say Charlotte's done winning titles, but I don't think she is. I seriously don't think she's done. I think the day she stops being done is when she decides to call it a day herself. They'll keep her in that position because it's the only place they can keep her. And that's a really annoying thing. That's really annoying. If Bianca was to beat her, though, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that at all. Bianca needs a refresh, though.
You reckon she needs to go heel? Because I'm thinking she needs something. She needs Stephanie fresh in the know.
Oh, I've been saying it for a long time that her gimmick is a heel gimmick. I don't buy that as a babyface gimmick. But I think if you have her turn heel, I don't know who you have her turn against. I don't think there's anybody on that roster that if you had her turn heel against, you would believe it. I don't know. Like, who do you honestly think she could honestly utilize herself against to turn heel against? I don't even think it works if she turns heel on someone like, I don't know, Io Sky. Like, Io Sky is incredible, but I don't think Io Sky gets that. Ah, hello. You've got the link. If you want to join us, come say hey. But I don't know. I think it's a very interesting conversation. Can we please stop using that word? That word is dreadful. Guy, are you seriously trying to joke now? He says Nia hasn't hurt anyone since she came back. Did you not see that stupid fucking that Annihilator move that she bloody did? Like on Tiffany Stratton. The true host has shown up in the chat. Shut up, Catherine. Shut up, Catherine.
I'm here. Your lives all just got better.
My life is already great, thank you.
I'm fucking knackered, and I've been fucking knackered pretty much all weekend, right? And I was
Very true.
honestly going to skip Money in the Bank. I was genuinely very close to just like calling it, just going, you know what? Nah, I'm not really excited for this card. Let's just sit it out. And then I saw, okay, midnight start. And it's the Money in the Bank. You get to see who wins the briefcases. You know, you get to see this important, seemingly important plot device for the next year. Because that's what Money in the Bank is. It's a plot device. It's supposed to fuel future storytelling. And the future storytelling that we're getting is someone who isn't good enough to be world champion in the women's division. And we are getting the most predictable of the Money in the Bank winners, to the point that men's Money in the Bank field was just Seth Rollins and the 5 guys that raised their hand first.
And Chief Caterer nearly splitting his leg in half because he's a moron.
The show was terrible.
Maria's saying hello to you, by the way.
All right, Maria. Yeah.
For the record, Catherine, I'm joking. Please don't. I was just saying, for the record, Catherine, I was only saying shut up in general, but please keep going. Fuck's sake, Catherine. No, stop that shit.
The most damning thing about that show is there was genuinely nothing I enjoyed. And
I mean,
Sometimes look
in the
at you.
words of me on my football channel that I do with, ironically, Josh, who's there now and again, I say the same thing over and over again. I was right. But yeah, carry on, Neil. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. And hi there, Abu. How you doing? But look, okay. So where do we want? Do we want to start with the fact that we're getting
We
of that?
reviewed everything, so
Yeah,
we're gonna let you
where do
destroy
you
it.
want me to begin destroying it? I guess we'll just go in order. So the women's Money in the Bank, probably the best match of the night.
That's what
Probably was.
that's what I said as well. In terms of, I don't think any of the matches were good at all.
No,
But I think in terms of the show in general, I think the women outshone the men, which wasn't hard considering how bad the show was.
Yeah.
yeah, no, completely with you. Naomi isn't good for Money in the Bank. Naomi's not good for anything anymore. This is a woman that was champ 8 or 9 years ago and couldn't make it work, has since then been relegated to nothing, was part of the walkout that Mercedes Moan, the artist formerly known as Sasha Banks, was involved in as well. So she's part of that ilk. She's part of that, my farts don't stink sort of crew that we've got in wrestling these days, where she just can't do no wrong. And that's how Naomi sees herself in this business. And she's getting rewarded off the back of a program that she lost that led to another program that she lost. If Naomi does become the world champion, seemingly Jade Cargill can just go out and destroy her. Bianca Belair can also destroy her. Any of the Raw main eventers could do it as well. Liv Morgan's a better wrestler than her. Rhea Ripley's a far better wrestler than her. Obviously, Becky Lynch is a better wrestler than her. We've given this belt to this Money in the Bank briefcase to a perennial mid carder. Moving on, Dominic Mysterio has a match against
Octagon Junior.
Yeah. So let's dive into
Guy,
that.
right, don't start that nonsense.
If I would give AEW shit for pulling in a luchador that I don't know, I would. I also want to give shit to WWE for pulling in a luchador that I don't know and pretending that I should know him, and his presentation literally being Pentagon's presentation, like to the point where you looked at the logos and you were like, that's just a spike with more spikes on it. It literally just looked like Pentagon from Wish. It looked ridiculous, especially with Pentagon entering in the show later. These two guys aren't affiliated in any way.
No, they're not. They're absolutely not affiliated in any way. And also,
and then and Dominic Mysterio has a match with Octagon Junior that's semi-passable as a TV match. Like it was okay. It didn't get out of first gear.
yeah.
And hey, Octagon could have a future, but not as that name, not as that guy, because that is just that character, that packaging, that presentation is just death.
That is just that is annoying. That is just who he is, though. That's
is James there? I feel like I've just come in and silenced him. Sorry about that.
No,
No, that's all right. It's all right.
Right, that's all good. Moving on, it was Becky next. Was it
the worst fucking match on the show?
This match fucking sucked, and it was
a finisher fest.
It was ridiculous.
Mr. Iguana's amazing. Mr. Iguana's amazing. That's the only person I'll not hold slander for.
So Becky hits the manhandle slam from the middle rope.
Yep.
Lyra kicks out at 2.
Bear in mind that move beat Nia Jax.
That move, without it being Avalanche, beat Bianca Belair in 23 seconds.
Yeah. To be fair, Fletch, I'm not even watching the game, so it doesn't phase me at all. Either or, like, I don't care. But if you win, fair play to you. Carry on.
Oh, I was
Just,
just trying to look at what it actually is.
yeah, I'm just shutting down the Portuguese. I'm only kidding, Fletch. Fletch is cool.
That's
Fletch
not
is cool.
very nice.
To be fair, I just don't like Roberto Martinez, but I know they've got rid of him, so that's okay.
Fair. But yeah, and they did the Osprey spot. So firstly, Lyra Valkyria needs to work with someone who's going to actually like slow her match down, because after the Avalanche manhandle slam that should have been the finish, especially since Becky's going to win anyway. They go out to the outside and they do more stuff. But the more stuff that they do is that Becky manages to hit the manhandle slam on the outside. And I was thinking, okay, roll her in, pin her. That's enough. That's it. Especially after one off the middle rope, that's fine. She's protected. It probably wasn't even 10 seconds later that Lyra Valkyria hit the Nightwing. And then both of them did the Will Ospreay bit. You know, the Will Ospreay bit I get on it, where you lie dead until you get to 9. And then as soon as you get to 9, you spring to your feet and run to the ring. I hate it. I've seen it far too many times and I hate it. And then, you know how I said I wasn't going to draw comparisons anymore? It's like it's like this drew the comparisons for the wrong reasons. Because I watched Becky win via the roll-up and just thought, this is what Mercedes Moné has done for her last 8 matches. She's eaten every move under the sun. She's given every move under the sun. And then she's beaten her opponent with a small package. And it doesn't matter if it was in the Owen Hart tournament or if it's just been she's been defending her title against one of the girls from Japan or one of AEW's women. She's been winning via roll-up a lot. The only person I want to regularly win via roll-up, there's only 2 people. It's Rey Mysterio and it's Darby Allin. I'm fine with Rey Mysterio winning via roll-up because of his size. I'm happy with Darby Allin doing it, not only for his size, but because it's actually a move for Darby Allin.
It's also believable for Darby Allin.
Yeah, but like the Last Supper actually looks tricky to get out of.
Yeah.
You see like a struggle when someone's in it because it's like a leg lock at the same time as a roll up.
I agree. I actually like when Darby Allin does win matches with the roll up, not just in the sense of because that, but like even when he doesn't include his hardcore stuff. When he just goes matches that get very intense in terms of what he takes as punishment. The roll-up is a clever way for him to beat someone bigger after they've literally beat the piss out of him for, say, 12 to 15 minutes. That's an effect. It's an effective way to win. So I agree with those 2.
Yeah.
So earlier,
I agree, and Roxanne Perez as well.
Earlier this year, Priest beat Drew with a roll-up. Yeah,
that was shit. That was shit.
It wasn't great, but if you do it as a one-off, it can work. I'm fed up with the roll-up being used as you didn't quite beat him. This is protecting him. Like we don't need to keep protecting people like that. Lyra Valkyria did not need protected with a roll-up loss here.
Especially shut down.
After it, she obviously does the whole raising the hand thing. And I mean, it could be that I was just in the mood to be a dick, but she had absolutely no need or right as a babyface to fucking lay out Becky to that extent.
And also, I already shot this match down anyway because they've done it so stupidly wrong. Again, I'm gonna say it again for everybody. I'll just repeat it one last time because obviously Eilidh's not been here tonight. She's been elsewhere, which is completely fine. I literally said I can't stand a last chance match when it's a heel champion. Sorry, a babyface champion, not a babyface challenger. I can't take a last chance match like that seriously. I can't take it. To be fair, at least when Samoa Joe done it, like he was cooler, but like Drew's version of it just doesn't make it. It just doesn't fit him at all. I still think he's good though. The only chemistry they've got is when they're off screen. because then we don't have to see them.
Mm.
I would
Yeah.
pay. I would not pay to go watch those two. I don't want to see them on TV anymore.
So we're halfway through the show, and my head is dropping. I'm still awake. I'm still watching it, but my head is dropping in terms of fuck, because we've now seen everything that was like the unexpected portion of the show. I know I got the winner of the tag match wrong, but I also didn't give a shit about the tag match in the first place.
The match was dreadful. That is your main event. To be fair, you've not slaughtered the men's Money in the Bank yet, but I'm assuming you're coming to that last.
That was the thing. So ends the portion of the show that was just kind of okay. Well, they might do something neat here. If she didn't kick her ass at the end, it would have made Lyra look like a cut.
It doesn't matter though,
She
in my
didn't
opinion.
have to, because she didn't have to kick her ass because she didn't.
She should have.
The match and the way that the match went, and the fact that the babyface lost fair and square. She shouldn't be getting a revenge instantly, because then you've done nothing.
That is true. That is true,
now,
Abel.
But she was still humiliated, and she's the champion. Like, sit off it for a little bit.
I think personally, what she should have done. And Abel, that is true. I started telling Abel just how much chocolate I actually had beside me last night. What
I didn't eat at all during last night's show. I just had Lucozade.
I only had some tea just to not go to sleep, because they were all putting me to sleep. To be fair, except Stephanie Vaquer and a few others. But when I go back to that ending, for me personally, she should have raised the hand once. And then she should have turned it around and then just slapped her and walked off.
Yes.
And a German suplex from Lyra with the belt still on Becky Lynch, it doesn't look impressive. If it was anybody else, I'd be like, yeah, that's cool. But for Lyra, she should have just done the simple, like the classic bitch type maneuver. Just slap her in the face and leave. Firm handprint left on the face, leave it there. And it leaves Becky flinching.
Was too much, because you did a title change that's obviously dropped your babyface down, and you made the heel, because the heel doesn't look powerful.
I can't take that seriously. I'm sorry, I can't take that seriously.
And the babyface doesn't look strong either, because the babyface lost. If anything, they've made the babyface look like an idiot, made the babyface look like a sore loser, and they've made the heel look weak as piss.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really help.
I mean, she did win by holding the tights, but to be fair, like, it still wasn't. It's still bad. But another thing as well about this is, if this does lead to another gimmick match, they're fucking imbeciles. No wonder this show is called Money and they creatively bankrupt. But and I'm sorry, this might offend anyone left in the chat that's fans of Lyra who can't talk Valkyria, or Becky needs to fuck off Lynch. If this leads to an I Quit match, this is the dumbest company in the world. Because how can you take Lyra Valkyria seriously when she says I quit? It's just
this is all for a mid-card title that has existed for a 5-minute wash.
Like, why not have them, like, if they're gonna do, like, if they do a third match, it'd be funny. Just do a 2 or 3 falls and get over and done with. Quick, just do it, like, or
nah, 2 or 3 falls is shit.
or just do a chairs match. Becky Lynch just smacks her with a chair and fucks off.
Or just don't.
Yeah, if it leads to a third match, yeah. If it goes to a third match, though, it shows they're desperate, because I haven't enjoyed any of this. The first match was a finisher fest. The second match was a finisher fest. It's not interesting. It's not good. I haven't
really liked Lyra Valkyria all that much. I think they see a lot in her that she isn't yet.
Yeah, I think that's fair, Smooth. I think that's fair. And Maria says Lyra should have given her a huge clothesline. A clothesline or a slap, it would have been fine, but instead she chose a German suplex. I'm sorry, but a German suplex from Lyra Valkyria on Becky Lynch, I'm like,
Ira looked
No,
bad because she was doing extra shit she didn't have to do. I get that, but the
like
call has to be made when producing a match that if enough is enough, that's it. And what does going further do? Because we're not going to remember this match come the end of the year. It was not one of the best matches you've ever seen. It was
fucking hell, Abu. Oh,
that
Abu,
worked.
Abu. Yo, Josiah, how are you? How are you doing, sir? Where's the aggression?
Well, the
Oh.
aggression came out, but after she lost, and it more just looked bitter.
Becky versus Lyra free stage the hell match at Evolution.
There's so much stock being put into Becky and Lyra. We're forgetting that these women's mid-card titles were made because WWE failed to keep a promise that they were going to do women's feuds that weren't about titles. Instead, they've gotten
Make
around
them
it by
about
just
titles.
making more women's titles. They still can't really tell a story for shit when it comes to a women's title. They'd be far better just telling a story about how Becky wants to keep Lyra down. There doesn't have to be a belt involved in that at all. They could have used a different fucking symbol for it, something that meant more to them rather than a belt they
also
just created. Yeah.
And also, they took one title of somebody who was actually at least making an effort with a title for somebody who's dangerous. They took the belt of Chelsea Green and gave it to Zelina, whereas Lyra Valkyria at 147 days or whatever it was, she's done nothing with the Intercontinental title except get an irrational moment at WrestleMania that she didn't deserve, which we agreed on last night. Guy
It
says,
reminded me, I thought it was making the mid card actually mean more. You're not making the mid card mean more. Sorry, I'm quite tired. You're not making the mid card mean more by putting another mid card belt in. That's the thing I've got on AEW for in the past. I don't want to see 19,000 different titles on my wrestling show. I think the women's tag belts as well are a joke. It makes
Yep.
your mid card stronger if you have your mid card fighting over either one belt across the two brands, or if you have the mid card fighting for the right to progress to the main event, which is what it should have been, and it's what it could be. It's about taking two people that are close. It's about taking a Julia and a Vaquer and having them tell a story for a year and a half, with both of them elevated to a point that they can then go for one of the main event titles, or that one of them wins and the other doesn't, and then you've got one of them progressing and the other has to go and work away again, still go through the mid card. That's like saying that every single match on the men's side of the roster should be for a belt as well, and every single feud should be for a belt. And El Grande Americano should have fought Rey Fenix for a belt at WrestleMania. We don't need every single feud and every single story to have a belt to it for it to have meaning. And I think it's
agree.
on the part of lazy fucking writers that they want it to be that way, because they go, how can we make this fight mean something? And
I agree.
I also criticized the Paul Heyman thing, because the Paul Heyman thing was the wrong thing for those three to fight over. And no, they didn't need the belt, but just fighting over the concept of who's the better one of the three and who is right would have been better than fighting over Paul Heyman. But I digress. It's about making the mid card mean more due to the opportunities that they will get. Because if you're just on about a title making a mid card mean more, then the US title clearly has elevated so many people. And we definitely don't just forget about the US title or the IC title. We don't just forget about these belts because they get chucked on to somebody and then completely forgotten about, neglected, disregarded. Jacob Fatu's not really done anything so far. Okay, they're now gearing him up for Solo. So, maybe some good will come out of that. But if you want the mid card to mean more, you've got to start telling fucking stories, not using titles.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. I think the mid card belt should only be on the talent that actually can do both, instead of somebody who can't do either and is just being rewarded because of who they know. That's my take. That's my take on them, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you had Midcard Central because Money in the Bank match took place.
Yep.
What's the over-under on Andrade's WWE career?
Flop in general.
No, but I mean, like, do we think he'll still have one? Is he just getting punted to AAA?
I think he is getting punted very soon. Yeah, I think he's gonna get the proverbial Friar Tuck. Off you go. He's getting chopped, definitely.
But will he get chopped from TKO or will he just go to AAA?
The TKO will probably advise another budget cut or roster cut, and then he'll be on it.
The Naomi versus Jade story has nothing to do with titles, yeah, and it was a good story.
Mm-hmm. And then watch Naomi job to Jade.
So Naomi out of it gets Money in the Bank when she lost the feud, and Jade Cargill disappears when she won the feud.
Yeah.
You see, it's not my intention to be a dick here.
No, I love it.
It doesn't make
Keep going.
sense for Naomi to be beaten like a fucking drum all year and then win the Money in the Bank. Because now, who can you beat?
Exactly.
And it was another one of those Money in the Banks where Naomi grabbed the case and I was like, you're just like, great, we've wasted this again.
I stand by what I said as well. When I critiqued that match, it pissed me off that both Money in the Banks was literally. I said both Money in the Banks were literally everyone had like 2 seconds of match time. The rest were sitting on their fat arses.
Yeah. It's almost as if Naomi should have won at Mania. Well, yeah, if you want Naomi to be Miss Money in the Bank, I would at least put more stock in it if she was winning matches before it. Naomi is fighting for the briefcase. We need to stop gimmicking the briefcase.
For me, simple. Naomi's going to cash in the title on Tiffany Stratton, and then she's going to job to Jade.
If they want Jade to have the briefcase,
have her in the
Jade
match,
win the Money in the Bank match.
Exactly.
We keep overthinking how to treat this briefcase, but for 10 years at least, it was just, I'm going to win it, I'm going to cash in, I'm going to win the belt. Or, I'm going to win it, I'm going to cash in, I'm not going to win the belt. But that's it. And then we started trying to get fucking clever.
I'm just fact checking Guy just for 1 second because he says all Money in the Bank on most parts lose all the time. Well, I've correctly, of course, fact checked.
Yeah,
not to be a dick.
If you go from 2017 onwards, the men's Money in the Bank has been fucking howling.
Oh, it's been horrible.
And whenever you've had a good winner, it's either been through bad luck that it hasn't worked, so Big E, because that was just beastly unfortunate. Or like using it last year for the Drew and Punk stuff. It was just unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like it actually was just unnecessary.
And LA Knight again was right there in a good spot to be positioned to win the damn thing, and they robbed him again. It's ridiculously bad.
Okay, so it's all good. The guy, we'll let you get the.
I'm trying to figure out what he means. Yeah.
So anyway, so Andrade, he'll go back to AAA.
They lose on TV a lot. So you're basically saying that the Money Bank winner just wins the briefcase just to job before they win it? I mean, Austin Theory didn't.
I kinda, yeah,
I do see where he's come from in that perspective. Then fair enough.
I think that is actually pretty accurate. Yeah, they put the briefcase on this person, and then they become a bit of a joke figure for a little bit, and it's like you're
They become
supposed to
Bailey.
be like looming over every situation as like, oh, you could win it, and that's why it's so good on a heel, but it's not good on a heel right now. Anyway, I was about to go into like my main event rant there, but we're gonna circle back.
I like this point before you go back to the men's Money in the Bank. I do love that point. That is completely true.
I think you can carry the briefcase if you can do something interesting with it, like Tiffany Stratton or
Edge.
or who had
Punk. Punk.
And Priest did actually make it interesting, to be fair.
Yeah.
Who was it? Sandow that had the like leather briefcase.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was interesting. You know.
I liked
But you don't always need to fucking carry it about, and like it's a contract. I almost feel like, and again, apologies to, I'm not saying this about all Americans, so please don't attempt to cancel me for it. I just think that the general WWE audience might come across as a bit simple, and if someone wasn't holding the briefcase that contained the contract, a lot of people wouldn't put together that guy's using the contract. He's got to be coming out with the case, and like it may as well, because it's not enough for commentary to go, oh, he's got the contract, could be cashing in. He's got this flashy briefcase that doesn't fit his character, that looks like a kid's lunchbox, and he's gonna run in with it or run round the side with it, talk to the referee for 30 seconds. The referee's going to talk to the timekeeper for another 15 seconds. And then the ring announcer will announce that a match is taking place for the title.
Oh, I fucking hate that shit.
There's enough already telling you that that's happening without the clipboard in AEW is better. It's just less fucking flashy. It looks a bit more like, I'll make sure that I bring that with me so the ref can sign that. No, I've got my case.
Yes.
No.
But that's why I like
Andrade and Penta were in there to do crazy lucha stuff. El Grande Americano is a joke figure, and that continued to be the case.
And Andrade nearly done a cycle, Sid.
It's El Grande Americano being in this match was a joke.
Yeah, should have been Chad Gable.
Yeah,
absolutely.
On his own.
Chad Gable being in this match would have been a fucking joke too.
I don't know who else was there. Maybe you're gonna have, unless you could add CM
Punk. You could look at the qualifiers and take better people to be in this match. Andrade was in it to do a stupid spot. Penta was in it to give a stupid spot. LA Knight was there as the fans' favourite, so that someone would at least get fucking cheered in the match. No one thought Penta was surely no one actually thought Penta was going to win.
I said Penta was not going to win it purely because of what they made him do in the qualifying match.
Yeah, and Andrade was never going to win because he is beyond cold. He is beyond cold. Solo did Solo.
Solo was a highlight for different reasons. He was a highlight for wasting my time.
Well, yeah, I've got something to say about that Solo bit, but and then that's it.
Awful.
Who won? Shit looks like grown ass people. Yeah, exactly. Solo was hilarious in this match. Solo trying to be funny was a joke. Oh, we've got a bit of a divide in the comments. Okay, so what side am I going to follow?
He was statistically the worst wrestler in the match for me, period.
I didn't actually mind Solo's performance in the match, honestly. I thought he was...
The interference was a joke.
Entertaining enough. He was better than El Grande. I didn't really like the fact that he was even there, and I didn't like that Andrade was there because he was there for no reason. He was never going to win the match, and Penta was never going to win the match, and LA Knight didn't do a whole lot, but at least the fans would cheer when he was involved. But this was Seth's match, and Seth was always destined to win Seth's match. And eventually it had to break down to the point where Heyman called for Seth's heavies to come down, which
that was so bad. That was so bad.
We had to wait that long, whereas it probably would have said more if they'd have gone against Gray and made the Money in the Bank about 5 minutes long and just had Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins just beat the shit out of the rest of them.
Exactly.
But they wanted to have their other story moment, which, okay. So Jacob Fatu and JC Mateo come down to even out the Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed thing.
Yeah.
When they leave, Jacob Fatu's still there. And he's been made to look really good. But obviously there was the thing that was said on SmackDown. Obviously the thing, all gas, no brakes. He said all gas, no brains. And Jacob Fatu heard it and his fifis were hurt. Now,
Maria's spot on again.
I do unfortunately think that Fatu might have no brains because, okay, why does he want Solo? Why does he want to set Solo up to climb the ladder, pose beside the ladder while not really looking at him, and then grab his foot after it? And I get that it's the whole, the twist, the turn, I didn't expect it. Or, he did it at the last moment. It's like, okay, one, it was fucking signposted from miles away. And two, he knew how quickly Solo would climb the ladder.
I would have, personally, the minute he's setting the ladder up, I would have Solo's back to Jacob Fatu, and he turns around, and even though it's an overdone move, I would have just hit a super kick right there and then.
Yeah,
it's much better. But again,
there you go, and do the little thing, and then like as soon as he starts climbing it, just super kick him off the ladder, like off the bottom rung of the ladder. That would have done it. But the fact that he waited means that he knew how fast Solo Sikoa was going to be up that ladder. And
that's why I can't take it seriously.
Quicker than the 10 seconds he gave him to get up the ladder, Solo would have grabbed the briefcase and he would have helped him.
Yep. It was because really bad.
Said he's not going to win the match yet. Fatu knew he wasn't going to win the match yet, so he knew he could do his stupid fucking spot.
Yeah. It was just unintelligent.
People up to win just to turn on them. This is the Paul Heyman thing. We don't realise that we're doing the same thing again.
That is true. Paul Heyman done
the same thing again after we've just done it. It's not like that thing I was saying before, where all of wrestling is all of the same tropes, and it's all about timing. Timing is not 2 months after you did it the first time and it was shit.
Exactly.
Paul Heyman's going to set up Roman to beat Punk. No, he's going to set up Rollins to beat Roman. Just set Rollins up.
Exactly.
Fucking dweeb.
It's so bad. I can't take Solo seriously at all. Like, the guy doesn't move me at all. Like,
but I didn't think Solo Sikoa was bad. I thought that spot was awful, but I didn't think Solo Sikoa was bad.
I don't think he had much. I don't think he really had anything to do that entire match except give Rollins a stare down for who's the biggest clown. That was it.
I did like that though, and I like the way that he's been saying to Seth that he's got his own bloodline. It is a nice touch.
No, it is true that I'll grant that was quite an interesting.
I like when they call back to things and reward people for watching.
Mm-hmm. I just don't think they've got anything further with it. I don't think there's a ceiling.
And then just Seth wins.
Yeah, like even like there was even as well, and you had people chanting for like Roman as well, which was just even more odd of behavior. I don't know why fans were thinking he was going to be there. He was never going to show up. No, guy. There was barely any damage done to that fucking Samoan. There was barely any damage.
He was beaten up, so he would take his time. But if you can stand in the ring, it's fair enough if you're beaten up and you're struggling to stand up. Yeah, climbing a ladder is going to take a while.
He had a good 3 minutes on his own as well.
And you know the opportunity that's in front of your face.
Yes.
You're going to rush. Reece has gone Solo can improve. That is true, Smooth. That actually is true. Reece does see someone once and decide that they aren't it. And as you can see, clearly, I'm not cut from that same cloth because I'm praising Jacob Fatu here for everything other than that stupid spot, which he probably didn't come up with. He probably.
To be fair, I used to give Solo a chance. I gave a lot of people a chance. The
In fact,
problem
the only
is,
guy you turned on is Joe Hendry.
nah, to be fair, I've turned on a few other folk. To be fair, but like he just gets the brunt of like he needs a punch to the jaw. But when it comes to fucking Solo, the weird thing is for Solo, what put me off him in general was the immediate rush just to include him in a story that didn't need him at all. And then they rushed it, which brings him out of the fold, which actually takes him out of his comfort zone, which is not fully developed yet, which is something I have an issue with. And I've always been consistent on that.
Yeah. James, what do you reckon happens with Rollins with the briefcase then? Who do you think he cashes in on? When do you think it could be?
I wouldn't be surprised if he did it tomorrow night after the title match. I think that you'll see he could end up doing. Me and Reece said it earlier. He could do a WrestleMania 31 where he just cashes in during the match.
Right.
Gunther's getting stomped because they won't have Jey Uso get pinned.
Wait, so Gunther's gonna? You think Gunther's gonna beat Jey? Oh no, like during the match. Right.
Yeah. I just honestly think that I'll be surprised if they. I think they're going to do the cash in on Raw. I think they'll just get over and done with straight away. But I don't think it'll be Jey Uso that takes the result. But carry on, James. What else are you thinking, bud?
Bars for the women's one, I don't know.
Yeah.
I do agree. If whenever Naomi wins it, then she'll lose to Jade at some point. But I don't know, timing. It depends on what's the right time for. Again, could she do it this Friday, or could it happen? Was it King of the Night of Champions? I don't know.
It might be. I don't know.
If she cashes in on the King of the Ring final, the Queen of the Ring final, does she also win that?
Yeah. That would be funny. To be fair, she cashed in.
If they get the women's champion to also be in the final for Queen of the Ring and she wins that, does she get both?
I think it supersedes, so the Queen of the Ring stipulation I think gets null and void, and it's
So there
just for the
wouldn't be
title.
a Queen of the Ring because she's cashed it in.
Yes,
that would be interesting.
and
no one's losing titles at Night of Champions because it's in Saudi. That's a good point.
I agree. There will not be any title changes at all.
No one's losing their title till at least SummerSlam. Like at least none of the meaningful titles, because we now only get the changes at the big four.
Yeah, Josiah, I get where you're coming from, but your point's already null and void because CM Punk and Sami Zayn should have been at Money in the Bank. Their word means nothing.
We're planning an attack. How long does it take to plan?
Like they said on Raw, well, Sami Zayn said on Raw because he can't keep his mouth shut. They have to stop him from winning Money in the Bank. We have to band together to stop him. What happens? Nowhere to be found. Were they off eating cheeseburgers or were they off eating donuts?
But also, like, if you wanted Jeopardy in the Money in the Bank match, you're not telling me the Money in the Bank, if it works properly, should be contested by the 6 best people who could win the title, but currently don't have it. And if you want to exclude people who've won it 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 times, and you don't want like Randy Orton and stuff in it because of his back, that's fine.
That's fair.
But you should be looking at, and this is a stupid way to do it, but tell me a better one. You should be logging in at 2K25, looking at the ratings that they've given the wrestlers, and the ones that aren't champions and are available should probably be in the conversation to be in Money in the Bank. Not Andrade, who hasn't meant a fuck. Not Penta. Well, maybe Penta, to be fair. Penta might actually qualify from that. That's all good, Abu.
Thanks, Abu.
I'm planning on it.
Yeah, Abu.
So maybe not Penta. Definitely not El Grande. Definitely not Solo. Definitely not LA Knight.
Yes, I agree 100%.
It should have been like Penta and Sammy and Punk and Cody. Cross, probably, for how over he is. So what is that? Penta, Sammy, Punk, Cody, Cross. Who would you have as the sixth? Logan Paul?
I'm trying to figure out what your point was. Sorry, I was reading the chat. What was it you were saying about the six?
Six main event guys in that Money in the Bank, because one of the title holders is Jey Uso and the other one is John Cena. So Jey Uso's probably AJ Styles. That would be one.
I would have said AJ or Punk.
I said Punk, so it was Penta, Sammy, Punk, Cody, and
Styles.
Cross is what I said.
And I'll say Styles is that last man.
Or like, you know, so if we take Cross out to put Rollins in, because you still want Rollins to win it, at least then there's a field. There's some people for him to beat. This was wait for Seth to win.
This was 33 minutes of just boring us to death and getting the predictable interference in the turn we all saw coming.
Yeah. And it was a joke. They phoned in this Money in the Bank match. They phoned in the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. They faxed in the main event. This was a fucking joke. This moved underwater. Hated this.
Yeah.
Hated this.
You know what would have made this pay-per-view even worse? If it was the French crowd.
But,
I had to get that in there. I had to get that in there.
Why is he involved in this shit?
Because they've got no other option.
I'd rather he was in the Money in the Bank and he lost.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I would rather that Money in the Bank field existed. Sorry, James. Go on.
No, I completely agree with you there, Eilidh. Completely agree.
Yeah, because this is pointless. It meant nothing. The actual payoff is shite. We're now back in the same place that we were before Saturday night's main event. Nothing's progressed.
The only thing that's progressed is we've made one subscriber in this show, which we gladly appreciate. We've had a good viewing audience all night.
The only thing that's progressed is that WWE have made more money off the shows. That's it.
Speaking of making more money off shows, they also did the New Orleans announcement, so I casually tweeted at that point, at least my birthday won't get ruined because they've made it a week later.
I'd rather her save us from our misery and dethrone Tiff ASAP. Well, Tiff's getting a bad hand because Tiff has no one to work with.
Her title,
because all the good wrestlers have been thrown on a Raw.
Her title reign, in my opinion, was dead the minute she got to WrestleMania. And I said that to you at the time.
Tiff working with Becky?
On NXT.
No, on SmackDown. I know Becky's on Raw, but when Becky came back, why didn't she go for Tiff, who she's beaten?
Because Charlotte Flair called dibs, probably.
But that was after Mania.
I know, but Charlotte Flair always
It could have been
dibs.
after Mania. If she didn't return on Mania, which also made no sense. I'm getting crossed and I'm getting sidetracked.
So many things I can say about this, but I'm just that was so bad. I feel bad for New Orleans. I really do.
Yeah. Oh, it was always in the booking. But yeah, so this tag match was rubbish, and Cody's been relegated to teaming with this idiot who is a word and a chant. And okay, the fans love it,
We did
but
read
the
your comment.
matches aren't good. What comment is the guy?
We did read
Think
your
Naomi
comment.
could be the best Miss Money. No. I just Io's got that pretty much locked down.
Yeah, and if not Io Sky, it's Alexa Bliss for her how she cashed in.
Or Alexa Bliss, yeah.
I don't think you top either of those two moments
Did
personally.
Alexa Bliss cash in when it was Nia and Ronda?
Yes, she cashed in the same night.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so right. Time to get really quick. I'm gonna try not to swear too much. They fucking turned fucking John Cena fucking face during this fucking match, and I can't be fucking arsed. Sorry, I really tried. I really did try. They turned him face. You had a Money in the Bank. You had a Money in the Bank fucking pay-per-view. Not even 2 months after WrestleMania, where John Cena won by cheating, and you had John Cena getting louder fucking face chants than he was heel chants, and you had John Cena literally do a thing where he fell out with Logan Paul, who's a bigger heel than him, so obviously he got cheered like a babyface when he did it. And this was building the whole match. It wasn't just the turn on Logan Paul. About a minute and a half in, "You can't wrestle" was like a quiet chant. "Yes, he can" was really fucking loud. It was like 5 times louder. So they've turned him face, which I guess means John Cena should lose to Seth Rollins via the cash-in, right? And that's the end of that story. And that's the end of that chapter. And fuck Travis Scott and whatever the fuck The Rock is. Maybe they're all one group. But if they're all one group, John Cena just turned face. So anyway, John Cena turns face. And Cody Rhodes beats Logan Paul. Oh, and R-Truth was involved somehow. And Cornelius Fudge gets to watch as a Smosh video was said. Was it Smosh? No, it was College Humor. It's College Humor. That's a great video, by the way. The Tumblr CEO one. Really, I recommend that. Just go and watch College Humor CEO stuff over Money in the Bank. John turned face because he had a squabble with Logan Paul where they shoved each other because of a disagreement. So John tagged in and then Paul tagged himself in. And then maybe John tagged himself back in. It was something like that. It was the back and forth tags. And then John and Logan were like, "Oh, we could have it out right now. We could fight right now. We could have it out." They were going to fight. And they allowed Jey Uso to make the tag to Cody because they're idiots. Cena didn't turn face. How did he not? How did he not? The fans were cheering him. And he turned on Logan Paul, who's the biggest heel in the company, just about. I think Cena turned face. I couldn't see it any other way. So when he got beat because R-Truth showed up, I was like, "Oh, that's that, I guess." What? That's it. Like, that's all, folks. That's your Money in the Bank main event, a nothing tag match where the top heel in the company supposedly gets cheered for turning on his own partner, like it's the fucking Rockers. But welcome on in, Nick. Oh yeah, you're right, James. What were your thoughts on the? You probably already said them, but what were your thoughts on the main event? Let me throw that at you. Do you think I have a point? Did John Cena turn face?
You took the words right out of my mouth. Everything you just said.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, it was blatantly obvious.
Yeah.
Absolute shite it was. Absolute
It
shite.
was, yeah. Yeah.
So,
Oh god.
I'm glad I came on. I've been quite tired, but I am glad I came on to get that out there. Just, oh no, like also this R-Truth stuff's like meta, right? Reece, we can't hear you, bud. Still can't hear you.
I think your mic again, Reece.
Yeah. He's muted himself for so long. To be fair, that might make this the highest viewed episode of the show. Yeah, it wasn't good to making out with Jay at the end of it. Yeah. Well, it's like care about the presentation for as long as the presentation goes on, and then that's the end of your show, folks. Thanks for watching. Cheers for your money. And Cena and Logan looked like two girls fighting over a douchebag guy. Exactly.
Yeah.
That was it. They were like, no, he's mine. He's mine. Reece, still, buddy. That's it. Lip sync battle. Should we like dub over the lines that he's saying? I think Moxley and Gunther are the same thing. I believe in Joe Hendry. Jey Uso's actually doing a great job as World Heavyweight Champion. That's a very good point, Reece. It's a very good point. Mox is better. Hey, you wouldn't find Mox choking out to Jey Uso. No. As weird as this is, you might have to leave and rejoin. I will, but before I go, I just want to say once again, really like Solo Sikoa's work recently. Really enjoying it. I think Solo Sikoa should be the guy to beat John Cena eventually, you know. Good point, Reece. Good point. I can tell he's like getting really frustrated as well, James. I can tell he's just really frustrated.
This
Death Round versus Satisfaction. Who wins? And more importantly, why do we all lose? We all lose because that's dull as fuck.
This is pissing me off.
Hey, he's here. Say his name and he appears. I believe in Reece Russell.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in
Reece Russell.
I believe in
Reece Russell.
Cause they love him in Scotland and 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 Scotland. They say I believe in
Reece Russell.
I believe in
Reece Russell.
I was really hoping that would break your audio again. Like, I was really hoping you'd come back.
To be honest, I don't even know what happened.
Well, See, the thing is, right? I'm gonna go bed after this, and I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna watch this show back and be like, "What the fuck was I on about?"
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah. So, did anyone like the main event? Anyone
I didn't like
positive?
I didn't like any of the show except for Stephanie Vaquer.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Vaquer was good. I thought Perez was good.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
They were sort of the standouts
of the
and then
entire
the rest
show.
of it was shit.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I mean, it's like, what can they do at this point?
Pack up.
Well, not doing that. They made too much money.
I honestly don't know.
And Money in the Bank's supposed to be a reset. It's always meant to be a reset. It's supposed to be like, we can get out of a shitty situation.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins is the get out of the shitty situation. Catherine, that's a very good point. Reece did say Ash by Elegance is his favourite female wrestler.
I fucking did not.
Liv Morgan was second on that list. He's a really shocking turnaround for Liv Morgan.
I did not say that.
What cup is Fletch on about, by the way? I've gathered Spain are playing Portugal. It's football. What is it?
The Nations League.
Oh, like the final of the big one.
Yeah.
Oh, Marcelo seems to have won it as well.
And he's just been sacked as well. I won't.
I think he is improving.
Nah, he's not.
I think if he can do enough that isn't just, I'm doing this because it's my family's thing, he could get over. He just needs to find an edge and be different enough to Jacob Fatu and not get completely crushed by Jacob Fatu to the point that he doesn't have a career, which is another really big risk. But we were saying that from the moment they were bringing all these small. Where's Tama Tonga? Is he hurt? Did he leave?
He's injured, and I'm not having that comment in my
Right,
chat.
he's hurt. Okay.
That's slander.
He's hurt. Giant. It's a big show. Hey, Josiah, talk about Nations League Mickey Mouse tournament all you want. Scotland qualified for a major tournament off the back of that.
Yeah, that comment's slander. I'm getting rid of that comment. And I'm getting
we don't do that. Mid-boarding.
and I'm getting rid of that one too, because that's fucking even bigger slander.
So what are we excited for in wrestling then?
Not Monday nights.
It's not Monday night, it's not Wednesday night, it's not Friday nights. The Saturday nights are fairly shit now too.
It's become a more therapy session now, isn't it?
What is that?
So it's become more of a therapy session the way it's going.
Therapy with the weekly Steelchair.
Yeah. It's just really, it's because we know what we had last year. It sucks more. Because it's genuinely, like 2022 and 2023 were hot, but 2024 was hot. Like 2024 was watch every show, and other than Bash in Berlin, and funnily enough, Money in the Bank was a bit questionable too, but Tiffy won.
Thanks, Josiah.
You know, like 2024 was a really good year for WWE. 2025 has not been. And since Royal Rumble, there's just been something weird in the water. And I don't know why. Well, it might be TKO. I don't know why. I don't know what this weird thing is in the water, but we need to stop it.
I think it's more than them.
Are the fans wagging the tail? Is it what the fans want, and we just don't align with them? Because I find it weird to be in a position where both of the main major offer me something are offering me something I don't want while having the capability to offer something that I do.
I don't know.
Like, both companies have the capability to field a roster that creates compelling week-to-week television, good matches, strong storylines, the exciting feuds, titles that mean something. They could all do it.
No
And
one
yet-
wants Cena as champion.
We just get served up this, and I don't get how we go from what 2024 was and how good 2024 was to this. I mean, you know how I felt about AEW had fallen out with it a long time ago, but I'm talking purely from WWE. I was very excited for every show, and the dynamic that we had, Reece, was very different because we were it was like battle lines. This isn't battle lines anymore.
Welcome to the dark side of the Force.
I'm not on the dark side of the Force. I'm seemingly not a wrestling fan anymore. AEW can't offer shit, and WWE can't offer shit. So fuck am I meant to do?
Watch Dominion.
I can't get access to New Japan. I'm catching NXT when I can be bothered.
I think we're in just an odd dynamic right now.
NXT is a bit fun, but the main roster's just so, as I said, creatively bankrupt. Watch TNA. No.
Fernando, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
It depends what I'm right about.
What you've just said about battle lines in 2024.
Yeah. No, I'm absolutely right about it. Go back to 2024. We would go into an AEW review, and you were the face and I was the heel. We'd go into a WWE review. You were the heel and I was the face, and I was talking about how, come on, this match will be good, this show will be good.
But
we now don't have that because there's just this tacit acceptance that all the shows are in the shitter right now because they're all making decisions that are baffling.
I'm really looking forward to this next week, to be fair.
It could be good, I guess, but
Dana should be
TNA and WWE champion at the same time. That's a great idea, Maria.
Dana should
I
be
believe Reece pitched that actually.
Dana should be excommunicated from wrestling.
Well, that's not where I thought you were going with that. So I am glad that you toned it down from what I thought you were going to say.
She doesn't belong in wrestling, just like Jey Uso doesn't belong in wrestling.
What a yeet pay-per-view that was, huh?
And just to answer the question that he asked on the scrum, the name of their tag team can be the American Cokehead. Or Cokehead Nightmare. Or just Pish.
Anyway, do we have anything else to say?
My mic's working.
We're just gonna sit and just. We're just gonna sit. Just okay. This is the show now, guys. Everyone, if you're watching at home, raise whatever. I've got a bottle of water in my hand right now, so raise whatever drink you've got, and let's hope we can get through the rest of 2025 wrestling calendar, because we're going to need each other, and we're going to need the unity, and we're going to need the unity that this channel offers and this community can offer. Dana should go for the OnlyFans shout. I'm keeping my title. Oh, no, never mind. I'm not. For the record, I'm not. It was a joke. Don't get your hopes up.
I'm alright, thanks.
You see it for free. No. Imagine that was the conspiracy the whole time. You know how I'm like, I need to go because my fiance's working or whatever. Imagine that was the conspiracy. I think I've made him feel very fucking uncomfortable with that.
I think you've broken him.
I think I might have, yeah. He's away. Hills to the dark side was not on my neck. Catherine, I'm on like no side. It's like what Reece just said, I've been excommunicated. Yeah.
That's a switch on and off. Oh God.
Good luck. Good luck getting this one past any sort of monetization.
Anyone want to donate to the channel? I'll put a link in.
Yeah. If anyone wants to donate to my OnlyFans, no. Again, no, it's not. No, it's not. Dana Brooke belongs beside Reece while they bowl. Yeet!
No.
Well, anyway, that was a show. I don't know what you're going to do the rest of the time, Reece. It's
wrap
probably
up,
quite
to be
clear
fair.
to a lot of people in the chat. I need to go to bed. But this was a lot of fun.
So do I. I've got work in the morning.
So do I. I've got work tomorrow too.
I'm still
fuck.
just tired after staying up for that shit.
Yeah. I've got better dress sense than that cunt. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back tomorrow. I think it's going to be a gaming stream, and we're going to bully JSO again. So we'll be,
Yeah.
yeah. He's getting bullied for the second time. But thanks all for watching. Thanks to Josh for appearing earlier on 2 hours. He was brilliant. There'll be more coming up. Eilidh will be back on regularly. So will James, but we've just cooked.
Hey James, thanks for tagging along for that. I realise that letting somebody just kind of
James is awesome,
have their
to be fair.
breakdown on a podcast isn't easy to sit through.
No worries, shut it back from me on.
Yeah, but guys, thanks all for
well,
watching. Yeah, we'll see you all tomorrow, and go back and laugh, because I'm going
Later,
to.
baby kicks.
Oh. Goodbye, everybody.